From the textile mills in Lawrence to the sweatshops in New York, from the fields in California where our children had to work, we fought to make a living. Bread and roses was our cry. Though they jailed and beat our bodies, our spirit never died. We were there in the factory, we were there in the mills, we were there in the mines, and came home to fix the meals. We were there on the picket line, we raised our voices loud. It makes me proud just knowing we were there. We were Polish, we were Irish, we were African and Jew, Italian and Latina, Chinese and Russian too. They tried to use our differences to split us all apart, but the pain we felt together touched the bottom of our heart. We were there in the factories, we were there in the mills, we were there in the mines, and came home to fix the meals. We were there on the picket line, we raised our voices loud. It makes me proud just knowing we were there. We are teachers, we are doctors, we are cooks and engineers, letter carriers, truck drivers, conductors and cashiers. We operate machinery, we fly the airplanes, and we help to build our unions. We got struggle in our veins. We were there in the factories, we were there in the mills, we were there in the mines, and came home to fix the meals. We were there on the picket line, we raised our voices loud. I'm so proud of just knowing we were there. We were there. We were there in the mines. Yes, came home to fix the meal. We were there on the picket line. We raised our voices loud. Proud, just knowing we were there. And our struggle keeps on growing. I'm so proud, just knowing we were there.
Durable Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, being flame more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Viva Bojack, 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 Viva Bojack. That's what I'm talking about. First time singing the songs from Riverboat Jack. Shout out. I don't know what I'm doing really, but I got passion. That's what it's about. It's all about passion. Swishy streams, all that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Your sense of fashion, you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack, 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 Riverboat Jack.
Hello. How we all doing, folks? Hello, Possum of Pine. Hello, Dimitri the Wanderer. Just joined the DSA. Fuck yeah! What are my next orders? Well, one, you could join. There is a group chat for folks, like a more secure group chat for folks on Signal, I believe, for the shimps in the riverboat who have joined DSA and are like looking to commiserate about the shared struggle to get folks to be effective and talk strat. Also, your next marching orders are show up to the goddamn meetings. Like genuinely showing up and like I cannot overstate how effective showing up and actually investing your time is. Like the amount of stuff and shit you can do is huge. So yeah, reach out to Gamergy if you want in on that chat, and also Gamergy is just an excellent resource for anyone in this community to use if they would like to like go the extra mile. Gamergy's been doing it for a while and can show you the ropes. Similarly, Dragonfly in the Discord is basically our similar role for your local Dems. So if you want to maximize your impact, you can organize in your local Dems, show up to their meetings, and organize in your local DSA. And basically, you can be that annoying person at the Dem meetings that is constantly telling them to get better. And, but like in a productive way. Whew! I don't know what a golden kappa train is. Kappa? But that's cool. Hello, O'Reilly Young. Hello, folks. This is my. I thought I had put together the first vertical live stream last time we streamed, but then I realized at the end of that stream that the vertical live, though it was turned on, was not actually broadcasting. So today I made sure that the vertical actually worked before I went live, but that also led to a few bumps in going live today. I'm gonna try and do my best to do the things, and I don't know. If you can see the vertical, please let me know. It's very helpful for me to know if that's working. Threw up my dinner. Fuzzy's not feeling good. I'm sorry to hear that, Fuzzy Buzzy. How optimistic should I be about the title of the stream? I woke up like 2 hours ago. Like, a realistic level of optimistic. It's a small W, but it's a W nonetheless, and one that I think is very funny. And we'll be talking about the less funny resistance to ice as well, but I figured let's take the W's where we can. Oh, it's a rarer type of hype train that gives people special emotes. Cool. So folks, I guess if you want special emotes over in the Twitch chat, subs, donos, memberships, etc., they help. Dimitri the Wanderer, thank you for subscribing just a few minutes ago, being the first person today to support the stream. Very much appreciated. Appreciation to Max Danger 17 for being a member over on YouTube. Very much appreciated as well. Is it still a war zone over there? It's hard to really put into words. There's like a lot of reports of people just being disappeared. I think they're just getting more careful about who they're targeting. And I think they're also probably trying to fabricate some bullshit about how they can keep doing the same things that they're doing while having some plausible deniability. Um, we'll talk about the need for doing that and why that's important, etc. in a bit. Hello. Also, Sup, the Turtle Cupcake, thank you for gifting a sub over on Twitch. Appreciated. Hello, Axolotls with Cream. I've been slowly healing my relationship with reading through comics. Dyslexia plus reading as a punishment has made it hard to want to read, but I'm currently reading Red Hood and the Outlaws and enjoying myself other than the mob boss and the King Hood. I've never read Red Hood, but I can tell you, visual novels and comics are a wonderful way to deal with um, just kind of easing back into reading sometimes. I've been slowly making my way through Berserk. I finished the second volume of that. It was super fun. I have a couple Junji Itos that I'm going to be looking at in the near future if I can carve out some time. Uzumaki and I can't remember what the other one is, but I'm really excited. And yeah. Then I'm gonna start Bone. Hello folks! Great Chill! Thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. Appreciate you. I love open dyslexia font. Maybe won't work for comics, but helps me with books. Oh, that's a great idea. I forgot all about that. Yeah, no, that can be a wonderful tool.
Playing a pseudo-Tyranid run in Stellaris and holy shit I'm loving the bioships.
Oh god, don't lure me back, Snuggle Kitten. I do not have the time to play Stellaris. It might be my most played game of all time. God damn it. Bonus top goddamn tier, right? I read like, a quarter of it many years ago, and then I like bounced off and got really distracted by life. But I've been wanting to get back into it for a while. All right. Yeah, Jazz Dog, ice is gonna be everywhere. Probably by the end of the year. Let's see here. Buys Jack Stellaris expansion packs. No. Saw a video of Will Stansel tailing ice for like 15 straight minutes. Yeah, look, I think it's a great way to demonstrate to folks that like people on the internet might be irritating as fuck, but a lot of folks can be irritating as fuck and still be decent people. Like just because someone irritates you personally doesn't mean that they're bad. It just means like you don't get along with them, and that's okay, And I think a lot of people find Will Stansel irritating, but like at the end of the day, even if he's an irritating dweeb, he's doing the right thing. Like he's standing up and fighting racists. And you know what? He might still irritate me, but he's got my goddamn respect. God. Apparently, the DFL as a party has been absolutely absent on ICE response. It's just been up to individual politicians, few of them fighting back, and DFL caucuses are supposed to be happening. Yeah, at the very least, Peggy Flanagan seems like she's, not being a wuss and a pushover on ICE issues. I saw that she had, she's been going around to local schools and helping, like, parent patrols, which has been really cool. And I will say, part of what we're going to be talking about today is the open hearings that have been had on ICE presence in Minneapolis and the surrounding area. Will Stancil is using his superpower of being as annoying as fuck. Exactly.
Didn't
He's
a judge rule
weaponized
late
it.
yesterday that ICE can no longer arrest and shoot pepper balls at the peaceful protesters?
Carver E. Bain, thank you for the $5 super chat. And yes, but also, I don't really know how else to put this. They don't really care, They care in the abstract, but in the moment, if one of their superiors, like Greg Bovino, comes in and tells them to do a violence on protesters, they're gonna do a violence on the protesters. Yeah, Comrade Girl 2018 DSA has been doing a lot. I ended stream yesterday with a call for folks to donate to DSA. I'm gonna throw that up on the front end of today's stream, just as hey folks, maybe you can help out a little bit. Let me get the link here. Hey. Here you go. Whoop. We are currently a little over halfway towards our goal, so we've gotten a bit closer since yesterday, or 2 days ago. But if anyone would like to support efforts to, like, rent training spaces for folks to learn how to be legal observers, different materials to post up in the community, also, like, goes towards mutual aid programs to help folks who are too scared to go out during ICE occupation, and perhaps least important on the list, but most most important electorally, some of those funds will go towards pressuring local politicians to do something about it. So there you have it. So how we how I try to open up every stream by asking how y'all doing, but I know we're doing rough. I did, Gamer G. Look, I'm terrible at responding to messages, but I do often read them, and then I'm like, I do not have the energy to respond like a human would, so I will respond later, and then I'm just not at my computer as much as I used to be. If only Will could convince his boy Matt Iglesias to contribute. Oh God, they will assemble the most irritating people known on the left. You've got Will Stancil, Matt Iglesias, Ezra Klein, Matt Taibbi. Together, we will irritate ICE until they shit their pants. Ha ha ha!
You hear that? Minneapolis chased fascists out of the city. Suck it, St. Paul freeloaders.
Yeah, the only reason Minneapolis chased them out is to irritate St. Paul. It's true. In the most passive-aggressive act of anti-racism yet. Oh, God. They'll make a Voltron of irritation. All right, so also Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. I very much appreciate it, folks. Thank you very, very much. Y'all, you amazing. You amazing. Also, just as an FYI, we are currently this close to our next goal for our silly stream, which I'm hoping to do tomorrow night, but we will see. I've been doing my best to be functional, but I did intend to stream yesterday, and then I spent the day so scared for my partner as she was at work that when she got home safe, I just wanted to hold her. So I did that instead of doing stream, and I apologize for delaying your delicious, and nutritional political coverage, but hopefully you guys forgive me and we can continue today. Ice out for good? Hell yeah, Falcor. I'm guessing the way you pronounce your username is Falcor, even though the O is a Q. I like it. Otherwise it's Falcor or Falcur. Either way, I like Falcor. Ay. 200 viewers, only 60 likes. Such a shame. I know, folks. First action of the day. Hit that like button, ya goons. Go. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click button. Click button. Click button. Click I will hit the like button in exchange for the Bean song. I will give in to this extortion exactly one time. There we go. There you go.
What? Give me the beans! I must have these beans! Beans? Why, I say, young fellow, did you say something about beans? Magical beans? Some mystical legumes? Well, I'll give you 1,000 gold pieces for it. Magic beans!
Oh, that's what I get for doing a bit about how AI is magic beans. Or rather, AI is the guy trying to sell you magic beans. I love you love homosex, real talk? Real talk, I love homosex too. Homosex es numero uno. Wait. Alright. Oh god. The magic baked beanstalk? That's something very different. Alright. Yeah, girls want just one thing and it's disgusting. Baked beans. You did such a good job on the line and luckily no super bigots called in. You know, I was all ready for a fight though. For those of you who didn't see, I was over on the line the other day, co-hosting their show, the Transatlantic Call-In Show. So if any of you want to check that out, go do so. I think it went pretty well. A bunch of just really sweeties like called in. It was just really nice. I was expecting like more transphobes, and they just didn't show because I think they're cowards. Yeah. You have to keep going on the show until you get a spicy collar. The first time I was on, we got a spicy collar, you know? Who was the host? I was on with Josie. They want to talk about trans people, but not to trans people. Yeah, because, they don't want to, treat us like people. Talking to us would acknowledge that we're people. I saw the buckle. Yeah, the buckles are cool, aren't they? You're punchy today? I actually got sleep. That's my secret, cat. Jazz Dog, it's kind of like a trial period. We're going to see how it goes. But if anyone's interested in seeing me on any more of the line shows, I should be on with Jimmy in like 2 weeks. So check that out. Final Fantasy X Lulu. Possum of Pine, you have no idea how big a compliment that is to me. You have no idea. I know that, like, my general aesthetic is not that of Lulu from Final Fantasy X, but my aspiration, the aura I want to project is Lulu from Final Fantasy X. I have been looking for like a dress or like a skirt made out of the copious amounts of belts that she has in that game. In real life, I've been looking for something like that for ages. And yes, I just want you to know I feel seen. Thank you. Yeah, Josie's running for county council. It's super cool. You were cleaning your room, found a mint condition Game Informer magazine from 2011? Oh, hell yeah. You could make it yourself? Well, I am not very crafty, but I do know someone who is extremely crafty, and I might see if she's willing to do a craft project for me. Let's see here. You guys ready to start jumping into the show? You guys ready to do some content? Dare I say? Also, folks, before we get in too deep, consider supporting the show, not just with your likes, not just with your subscribes, but consider gifting those subs, gifting those memberships, gifting those, donos. That is what actually allows me to do what I do. I could not do it without your constant support. I don't have a big sponsor. Ad revenue just absolutely is not huge at all. And so, folks, you guys are what allow me to do this day in, day out. So, reward me for looking into the void. And let's do some analysis together, huh? You have more take on that planned strike? I do. Which reminds me that I was planning to talk about that, and I did not prep it, but let me pull up the things that I did have. Go. And I need additional info. Go. This is the problem when I am just like absolutely on top of all of this. I have so many things to look at and to talk to you guys about that sometimes they get lost in the shuffle.
Thanks very much for.
And it's actually quite irritating to try and keep it all straight. Let's see. Yeah. Oh. Hey. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 Do-do-do-do-do-do. Rising up, back on my feet, filling time while I look at things. That's the business now, I'm back on my feet. Almost time for the segment to begin. So many times we think we're all prepped. All right. Hello everybody. I'm sorry. Do you smell burning? You do smell burning. It is you should also start feeling it shortly. Where is this thing? You know what? Fuck it. I know where to find it. All right. Go. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Found it. All right. Did it. This channel was suggested to you. It's because you are probably very cool. Jack looking like a JoJo character? Thank you. Doing my best. Gotta do my pose. All right. Howdy, folks. Make newcomers feel welcome. We're trying out some new stuff over on YouTube today. I'm trying out the dual vertical stream, and if you're watching in that way, it might look a little bit odd, but you know what? Because I don't think it's like a smart vertical. Like when I go to the portion of the stream where I'm like down here in the corner and the chat's above me, I don't think it like moves over and like I think it just stays right in the middle. So if you're watching vertically, hello, and I apologize that it's going to look goofy because I do not and cannot set up my stream to look good in all vertical cases, but I'll do my best. Whew. Okay. Does vertical stream mean TikTok streaming? It means that if we ever hit the minimum number of follows on TikTok, I could do TikTok streaming. I think I need 1,000 followers on TikTok to get into the TikTok streaming game. But this is kind of like I guess a testing the waters for that, yeah. Vertical is weird. Why do we vertical now? Because like Instagram Reels and TikTok and YouTube Shorts all use the vertical slice. And also like I don't watch live streams that way, but I'm also not the youth. So this is for you, all of you youngs. That's right. I'm getting out of my comfort zone. And yeah, also the algorithm is really pushing vertical slices, and who knows if it'll actually last, but you know what? We're going to do what we can to ride that wave, baby. Okay. I'm not young? Don't say that. You're young at heart. I'm 42. Look, it's fine. You guys. Look, you could be like 100 years old. That's still young. You know, they say the first person who's going to live to 200 has already been born. So if you're in this chat, you're 100 years old, you might have another 100 years left in you. Let's go. Now, the ones you really have to worry about are the undead who walk among us, but we don't talk about them. Can those 100 years be good? Read the terms and conditions. Okay, I am having fun with you guys, but let's jump into this. I'm going to do my best to make this as digestible as possible and as non-infuriating as possible. Um, but I do want to just give you guys a giant asterisk up front that this is going to be irritating as hell. This is going to be anger inducing, and we're going to have to go through a lot of content pretty quick. So, I apologize for the pace at which this is going to go. And other than that, welcome, folks. And if this is your first stream, get cozy. And maybe grab a blanket, a snack, and a drink. Whew! You guys ready? Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba-da. Okay. Ready? Ready, Freddy. Good enough for me. Okay. So, folks, I want to talk a little bit about Greenland, because we've talked about it a bit, uh, but it seems like while pundits are still absolutely going nuts about Greenland, um, there is some potentially positive news here, and I thought we should talk about it. But in order to get that positive news, we're gonna have to go through a long slog of bullshit. So prepare yourselves, get your I don't know, trekking boots on, and here we go. So one of the initial extraordinarily bad things about what Donald Trump is doing here with Greenland, which he is repeatedly saying he wants to seize so that the United States can keep it safe. And I guess in this case, keeping it safe means risking going to war with the entirety of the European Union, and allied NATO countries like Canada, which, does not sound to me like it is keeping Greenland very safe, for one. And also just seems, like we're in fact the ones doing the violence by invading Greenland and taking it. Um, which is because we are. Like that is we're the bad guys here. Um, but this was preceded a little bit by something that I think a lot of people did not reckon with sufficiently, which is this presidential order withdrawing the United States from international organizations, conventions, and treaties that are contrary to the interests of the United States. So this got put out on January 7th, um, and basically pulled the United States out of the 24/7 Carbon Free Energy Compact, the Colombo Plan Council, Commission for Environmental Cooperation, Education Cannot Wait, European Center of Excellence for Countering Hybrid Threats, Forum of European National Highway Research Laboratories, Freedom Online Coalition, Global Community Engagement Resilience Fund, Global Counterterrorism Forum, Global Forum on Cyber Expertise, Global Forum on Migration and Development, Inter-American Institute for Global Change Research, Intergovernmental Forum on Mining, Materials, Minerals, Metals, and Sustainable Development, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, International Center for the Study of the Preservation and Restoration of Cultural Property, International Cotton Advisory Committee, International Development Law Organization, International Energy Forum, International Federation of Arts, Councils and Culture Agencies, International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance, International Institute for Justice and the Rule of Law, and the list continues on for quite a while here. And basically, folks, this is all just anything to do with renewable energy, a lot of just to do with research cooperation between the United States and Europe. Some of this has to do, by the way, with research into, things like how to be more cyber secure and like a lot of different initiatives that just keep everyone involved mutually safe from threats or researching threats that could affect all of us, both in Europe and the United States. And this has the effect of very much isolating the United States from a lot of these things, from a lot of like the world in a way that is pretty awful and destructive. Well, also, like, while executive orders are not legally binding, they are fulfillable when it's related to international relations, unfortunately. So when the president of the United States says we are exiting these compacts and says we are no longer going to be involved in these, he unfortunately, as president, has the ability to do that. And so this is pretty awful. In total, about like 66 agencies and different bodies were affected by this. Half of which are backed by the United Nations. And it's partly this that is now kind of carrying through here, because as Donald Trump has been fixating on Greenland, it's not as if that has occurred in a vacuum. We covered a speech by J.D. Vance last year, shortly after he got into power, that left European leaders and military leaders, civilian and military leaders, aghast, because he was basically announcing the end of NATO, in all but name. And it was really shocking. But what has happened since then has like left NATO in this kind of limbo. Like, is it real? Is it not real? Like, what are we doing here? Like, other nations have continued to act as if NATO is real, while the Trump administration just keeps cutting all these ties to many different European nations, and it is definitively making the world less safe in a way that is, at least should be, deeply disturbing to folks. And I wanted to talk a little bit about how American media is sane washing all of this. Because American media is either not really dealing with the fact that this is going to have long-lasting implications for the US going forward after Trump, and American media is either just kind of downplaying the effect of this internationally, or straight up saying, yeah, this is good. Like, no. Like, what would happen if Greenland was America's 51st state or a new territory? And, like, this is, obviously deeply troubling. Because when you open up an outlet like the Associated Press and they're talking about, like, oh, well, here are the pros and cons of invading Greenland. It basically is putting together like a framing the issue like there is valid debate over it. Like, oh yes, here are logical reasons why you would want to invade Greenland. But this isn't a logical decision. This is entirely predicated on like American isolationism and like a disturbing will to power,
Everyone, did you exercise today? The fascists did. Why haven't you?
Good point, Uncle Simric. I'm going to be running on my elliptical later. So that is my pledge to you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. So, we're getting into some dicey territory, but I cannot overstate to you guys how the far right media in America is 1000% on board with any kind of action to attack or take Greenland. So here is Matt Walsh talking about that.
And yes, there were people living in some of the areas that they colonized. And they got into fights with those people, and they kicked them out, and they conquered the land. So to now sound so scandalized by the very idea of it. Okay, Trump's expansionist ambitions continue, and I say that approvingly, very approvingly. But I use the word expansionist not as a dirty word, unlike how many people use it.
I love how mask off these guys are now. Like, Matt Walsh is just like, look, I know I look like an evil person who would drive up in a white van to abduct children, but let me just tell you all that I'm exactly that kind of person, and I love war on top of it.
The BBC reports U.S. President Donald Trump has been discussing a range of options to acquire Greenland, including using the military, the White House said. The White House told the BBC that acquiring Greenland, a semi-autonomous region of fellow NATO member Denmark, was a national security priority. Statement comes after European leaders issued a joint statement rallying behind Denmark, which has been pushing back against Trump's ambitions for the Arctic. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio also told lawmakers at a classified briefing on Capitol Hill on Monday that the Trump administration did not plan to invade Greenland, but he mentioned instead buying the island from Denmark. So that's what Rubio was talking about, is buying it. And here,
like, he sounds so disappointed that Marco Rubio is talking about buying Greenland instead of risking World War III to just invade Greenland. Like, the amount of bloodthirst this man has is genuinely, like, astonishing.
here is Trump on Air Force One talking about it.
I will say this about Greenland. We need Greenland from a national security situation. It's so strategic. Right now, Greenland is covered with Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security. And Denmark is not going to be able to do it, I can tell you.
Well, so, again, I've pointed this out before. I'll do it again. Greenland is strategically relevant, which is why the United States, in an agreement with NATO nations, has the ability to build military bases all around Greenland. That's part of our obligations as America to the NATO treaty. It's also why your other European nations can, like, assist in the defense of Greenland. It does not need the United States to defend Greenland because the United States is already pledged to defend Greenland. Like, this is like if you had a bodyguard who was saying, like, I've got to kidnap you to keep you safe, and I'm going to kill anyone else who disagrees with me kidnapping you. And you're just like, but you're already, your job is already to keep me safe. Like, it's just absolutely insane. It is just a complete abdication of any and all international, like, responsibility or cooperation that the United States could possibly be relied upon to give. Like, if the United States cannot be relied upon to give NATO support, like, no country can ever trust anything that the United States ever agrees to, at least in our lifetimes, you know? And the idea that, like, oh, well, you know, Greenland would just surrender. No. Europe has now, this video is a bit old, but Europe has deployed tripwire forces to Greenland, specifically to ensure that if the America invades, they are all obligated to, like, come to Greenland's defense. Like, it's, like, completely bizarre. And the idea that, well, there's a lot of resources in Greenland that we should have. Like, we have a trade agreement with them already. American companies already operate in Greenland. Like, the only reason to do this is if you want to steal their resources and give them to your rich friends to make them richer, which is, I want to really emphasize here, exactly what they are doing. Like, the entire premise of what's happening here is, hey, let's steal their resources to make our rich friends richer. That is it. That is their entire scheme. That is their entire plan. It's why Peter Thiel has been, like, absolutely rabid about setting up a network state city in Greenland. It's insane. But let's keep going.
You know what Denmark did recently to boost up security in Greenland? They added one more dog sled. It's true.
Sir,
They thought that was a great move.
what would the justification be for a claim to Greenland? What would the justification?
Oh, I don't want to talk about Greenland now.
I know I've just been talking about Greenland and how we should violently take it over, but I don't want to talk about Greenland right now when it comes to a justification for doing it. And it's because the justification is just he wants to. That's it.
I just say this. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security. And the European Union needs us to have it, and they know that.
Yes, clearly, if we can acquire Greenland, we should. There's almost no downside. Like, it is that clear.
There's almost no downside, he says, except for the fact that it would be a, like, casus belli. Like, it would be like a justification for, like, warfare and bloodshed, the likes of which hasn't been seen potentially since World War II. And, like, Matt Walsh is just like, yeah, we should absolutely do that.
And Trump focuses on the national defense advantages, which are very real. Greenland is a crucial staging ground for missile defense, also space.
Oh, it's a crucial staging ground for, like, missile defense? You mean the things we've already built there? Because we're part of a mutual, like, defense alliance? Yeah, guys, look, we wouldn't be able to defend from missiles unless we have Greenland. Ignore all those missile defense stations we have there.
Surveillance, but there are also the natural resources, which are largely untapped, oil and gas, uranium, rare earth elements, minerals.
Yeah, there's definitely no way to acquire those by working with the people who live in Greenland and coming to a trade agreement of some kind. No. The only way we can have those things is if we take over the country.
Fresh water. Greenland holds.
Look, guys, we poisoned all of our own water. We need to take Greenland's ice now. Have you seen the classic 1980s film Ice Pirates? It's going to be exactly like that. 100% like that.
It's like 5 to 10% of the fresh water on Earth. So lots of resources. And then there are the...
Matt Walsh just advocating for the water wars to kick it the high gear early. Am I banned here for some reason? You are not, Soul Life. Though I want to remind folks in YouTube chat, for whatever reason, it defaults to top chat, which filters messages from viewers. If you want to see all of them, switch over to live chat.
Economic benefits beyond the resource, namely control over Arctic shipping lanes, very substantial. There's the strategic benefits, which are very clear, totally undeniable. And the people...
None of these are compelling reasons to attack Greenland and risk a global war.
People who laugh it off just don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Also, like, the idea here that is being put forward by these pundits is that simultaneously Greenland is so strategically and resource rich and important, but simultaneously no one's gonna go to war over Greenland. No one cares about Greenland. But, like, if it's so important and so cool that the United States should invade, why would it not also be so important and so cool that Europe and its allies would rush to its defense? None of this makes any sense unless you're just a fascist piece of shit. which, Matt Walsh is.
Okay, which is fine. I mean, not knowing much about Greenland is not a character flaw. That's most people don't know anything about it. That's fine. You can admit that. When the topic first came up of acquiring Greenland, the vast majority of people hear that as like, I don't know anything about Greenland. And yet everyone thinks they have to have an opinion about it right away.
Yeah, because the president of the United States is saying we should send our military into Greenland. And that's something that maybe we, the people who ostensibly the military serve, should have an idea of whether or not people that should happen. Like, that seems like, if you're an informed person who gives a damn about the world and gives a damn about the country, you should have an opinion on that.
And the opinion of a lot of people is, well, we shouldn't do that.
Yes, we shouldn't do that. Going to war with historically some of our closest allies is not something that will benefit us.
We don't need Greenland. That's ridiculous. Oh, really? Why? Why shouldn't we do it? Why is it ridiculous?
Why shouldn't we do it? Europe has nukes. And if this spirals out of control, like, one of the great eveners in warfare would be for them to deploy their nuclear arsenal. And now, obviously, there are a lot of steps that would have to happen between, any initial, like, attempt to annex Greenland and nuclear war, but there aren't that many. Like, they're like, just kind of seems like for the same reason the United States wasn't annexing parts of the Soviet Union, perhaps we shouldn't annex, like, from a mutual defense alliance that is armed with nuclear weapons. That seems like a really bad idea for some pretty obvious reasons. Not to mention the fact that, like, again, these are our historical allies. These are people we have spent the last century plus trying to solidify goodwill between, and to throw it all away on a whim because our brain-souped president is just, like, drunk with power after ousting Maduro seems like a pretty bad argument, considering everything that Matt Walsh listed we can get without invading Greenland, without risking global war.
I mean, because it's Greenland. You have no clue what you're talking about. None, and you know it. And I don't pretend to be a Greenland expert myself. I'm not.
But you're so convinced that it's a great idea to put the lives of U.S. military at risk, put the lives of U.S. civilians at risk, put the lives of the people of Greenland at risk, put the lives of the military members that are sent to defend Greenland, and potentially a whole lot more people beyond that if this thing gets out of control. You're so convinced it's a great idea, but you don't know shit about what you're talking about. You even say so.
But the little bit I've looked into it, I see, they basically, the Trump administration talks about acquiring Greenland. They present their case. So I listen to the case, and then I go, okay, well, if that makes sense, like if all those, you're laying out like obvious strategic and economic benefits of acquiring Greenland, I'll go.
They're not good reasons, actually. The case is terrible. Like, yeah, if you listen to a bunch of dipshits make that case, maybe you, another dipshit, are convinced, but the reasoning is terrible. Ticker, thank you for the $5 dono. I very much appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the show.
Look into it myself. It's like, yes, that appears to check out. But I also think there's another value that Greenland holds. There's another value in general to Trump's expansionism. And I talked about this last year when they first started talking about Greenland and they were talking about Panama and all of that. And I haven't heard very many other people talk about this aspect of it. I think I saw a post from Mike Cernovich, I think, who posted something on X about it. But not,
yes, Mike Cernovich, an expert in Greenland.
Not very many other people are tapping into this, which is the intangible value. And I understand that from a political perspective, if you're the Secretary of State or the President of the United States, you're probably not going to list this as one of the reasons, but there is also the intangible value that is very real of the life, the hope, the excitement that you bring to a nation and to a people by expanding, by
Oh my god. Look. If you're not convinced by, getting all these other things that we can already get by mutual cooperation from Greenland, have you considered how erect your dick will be when the U.S. does another imperialism? Have you considered how jubilant your heart and soul will be at the knowledge that the United States military is brutalizing yet another indigenous people? Have you not considered that in your assessment of whether or not this is a good idea? Like, I need you guys to understand, Matt Walsh is just a member of the KKK with his hood off. There's no daylight in the
A
talking
little
points.
something for doing all you do.
Thank you very much. Stop the stupidity. And inshallah, together one day we shall stop the stupidity. Thank you for the $10 super chat. But, this is exactly the same kinds of things that, white nationalists and, very extreme white nationalists say. This is the kind of thing, and I know this because I just watched an interview with a bunch of people who are out in the middle of Arkansas building their whites-only commune, and they say exactly the same kind of shit Matt Walsh does. Exactly the same kind of shit.
acquiring new land, by acquiring new
He is just regurgitating the need for, Lebensraum, living space. The same argument that, Hitler made about Poland. It's crazy.
opportunities. And I realize that if you're a silly person, if you're a superficial, dumb person, and you hear that, you scoff at it. And you go, what is that? Who cares about that? Who cares about...
Yeah, if you're not a deep intellectual like me, Matt Walsh, the idea that your spirit could be lifted by, killing people in another nation and potentially starting a world war, that might seem like a stupid thing to say. But luckily, I, Matt Walsh, am a stupid person, so I'm ready to just absolutely buy into this utter fucking fascistic garbage. Mr. Natural, the chat on screen is riverboat.gg. It's just a place where you get more
Jack,
emotes.
keep up the much needed coverage of these fascist chuds.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pibb. I'm going to continue to do my best. I've also historically done my best, and if you like that, there are tons of videos on my YouTube channel where I do just this. But yeah, the chat on screen is riverboat.gg. You can go sign up for free, and for free you get a ton of emotes, and if you subscribe over there, you get even more emotes. And then there are different tiers where you can just lord your differently colored name over everyone else. So there you go. Yeah, the only place you can get a dill burrito emote.
Who cares about just the spiritual health of a nation?
Yeah. And let's not examine the fact that it would be an utter fucking indictment if the spirit of your nation was fueled by the blood of other people. Just take a moment. If Matt Walsh's argument was true, that would make the American people and the American nation like a blight upon the face of the earth. Right? If what it took to keep the American heart and soul happy and healthy was to sacrifice thousands of people every year, every day, it would mean that our soul is rotten to the core. This is just even buying into his premise for half a second, it is an utter indictment on what his conception of Americans is. And luckily, America is a much more diverse place, much to his chagrin. And also, luckily, I just realized that my microphone was a little bit farther away than usual, so hopefully I sound a little bit better now. Let's keep on going.
But for most of human history, people would have instinctively understood this.
Yeah, no, like this guy has literally, thank you, Cantus Tropus, that is an excellent callback. This man has literally argued that it was justifiable and good for Europeans to colonize the Americas because there was human sacrifice going on, while simultaneously is now arguing that we essentially need human sacrifices to fuel the American spirit. Like it's genuinely twisted. It's disgusting.
So what you can see over there.
That's what healthy countries do, okay? It's what empires do, and America is an empire. It always has been.
Yeah, that's not a good thing, you ding-dong.
It is encoded in our national DNA that if we are not exploring, if we are not expanding, if we're not going north and going south and going up into space, if we aren't going anywhere, then we're dying. Right? It's funny when I hear people, even conservatives, get so scandalized by Trump's expansionist ambitions.
By the way, that was eugenics at work, by the way. I don't know if you caught that when he's talking about it's encoded into our national DNA. That's like pseudoscientific bullshit. You know, like that is straight up talking points from like the 1800s resurrected in the modern day. Like they would have just called it like the national blood. It's part of what made the idea of the, body politic, when taken seriously, like way too seriously by these types of folks, started to take on extremely fascistic over and undertones, It's because it's tied into this eugenics effort.
These weak, feeble little naysayers that I'm so tired of these people. I'm so sick of them, especially and the people on the left.
I'm so sick of these people who keep telling me, "Oh, Matt Walsh, don't murder people. Oh, Matt Walsh, don't just kill women and children. Oh, Matt Walsh, don't just like start a World War III, a conflict that could be nuclear." I'm just so sick of all these weak people. Like, when can we finally do, as America, more women and children killing? Like, that's what the American people desire in Matt Walsh's world. It's like, I want y'all to understand how fucking cooked American conservatives are. This is what they watch. This kind of stuff. And like, you get a slightly watered down version of this on like Fox News. You get like a little bit more like less bluntly worded versions of this from different YouTube pundits. But this is at heart exactly the argument being made by basically everyone on the right. And the reason that's important to note is that that's likely what is going into Donald Trump's decision making, because his brain is cooked. When he sits down in front of a TV, like, those ideas go directly into his brain and like are ratatouilleing him around. Okay, it's you gotta understand, in the American system right now, this is what is motivating the president. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. That's like, this stuff has brought us to the brink. And it's so depressing that conservatives in America are willing to just absolutely throw down for these people. They don't love you guys. They're gonna send you to your death the second it becomes politically convenient.
I don't care. I mean, obviously they're gonna. Who cares what they say? A lot of people on the right too, including people who I thought were like pretty right-wing, pretty big.
No new conflicts, President.
Yep.
Lionel Hutz. Go, they got this all screwed up. Donald the no new conflicts, President.
Lionel Hutz, indeed. It does feel like government by Lionel Hutz. Ah, fuck. Thank you for the $10.50. I appreciate it.
Even they're saying, that's not who we are. That's not America.
Well, I mean, this is... Okay, wait. Let's let him cook for a second.
Well, What right do we have? Oh, no, that's exactly who we are. You dummy.
He is right about that. America has historically been a nation that does exactly that. The difference between Americans like myself and Americans like Matt Walsh is that Matt Walsh revels in the violence. He revels in the colonialism. He revels in it. He thinks it's good. And like he would gleefully coat himself in like the blood of the innocent in order to make that point. And for folks like myself here in America, there's nothing more odious than this hateful idea. We are not bound to be as awful as our forefathers were. We are not bound to the evil that they perpetrated on this world and to these people. We do not have to continue the cycles of violence and the cycles of abuse. We can break those chains, and we should. Like, our job here in America is to organize so we can beat these fascist, racist, KKK cowards back into the dirt where they belong. Like this, like we should not be tolerating this in our nation. And unfortunately, this type of rhetoric from Matt Walsh has been ascendant for a while. But this is why every day I get on here and I tell you guys, it's time for us to organize. And we need to get organized. I know it's not everyone's favorite thing to go to a meeting. I know it can be really inconvenient. But folks, we need to start turning up to those meetings with our local Dems. We need to start turning up to those meetings with our local DSA. We need to make our Dems more radicalized. We need to make our DSAs more effective. And we need to beat these bastards. Because they're not just like limited to one state or one area of the country. They have insidiously spread themselves as many places as they can get. And the entire purpose of us organizing is to beat them and make all of our lives better. Okay? We owe it to our children. We owe it to our children's children. We have to beat these fuckers. Okay? And one of the easiest ways you can do it, one of the entry-level ways you can do it, is by joining your local DSA and joining your local Dems and then going to the goddamn meetings and saying yes to more and more organizing power that is handed to you. All right? I guarantee you, a lot of you guys have local Democratic parties that have like, 80-year-old guys who have been the secretary taking notes for the last like 30 years. And they are just begging for someone to come on board to take those responsibilities. All right? When I went, before I moved, when I went to one of the meetings, like they were offering people the vice chair position in the local party to like people who had only shown up to a handful of meetings because they were young. You can get involved and you can start having real impact on your community today and making sure that none of these voices can flourish. Okay?
Is it good or bad that Candace Owens' Time Traveler is more popular than Walsh's Empire? The effing.
I mean, unfortunately, Candace Owens is ascendant, but I would temper the idea that it is one or the other with the fact that it's both. Like Candace Owens herself might be more popular right now, and she might be spewing some particularly insane nonsense about Charlie Kirk being a time-traveling messiah. But she and like Tucker Carlson are like fusing together and like creating this section of the right that is also very complicit with warmongering. It's just who they want to demonize is slightly different. That is the only daylight. Okay? So, I'm hesitant to take any hope in the organization that is throwing the Republican Party and Republicans in general directly into the heart of the, conspiracy singularity. This idea that I've talked about of conspiracies basically just slowly ripping apart any coherent community and like turning it into one homogenous spaghettified slush. And like I think this is bad, because once you get people completely disconnected from reality to the extent Candace Owens is doing, they can be convinced to do anything. Right? And that's a big problem. Not all races get along. Stop trying to force races to mix. How about you go move out to like a fucking garbage patch in the middle of nowhere, buddy? Like build a floating house on the Pacific garbage patch. That's exactly the kind of land you deserve. Get the fuck out of my country. Again, Matt Walsh and his ilk emboldened the worst people imaginable. And I guarantee you, if you asked Matt Walsh what he thinks about race mixing, he would probably tell you something very similar. Very, very similar. All right? Because again, Matt Walsh is just a member of the KKK without a hood on. And I would hazard a guess that Hawksmith, R2D, no races, some races just can't mix, is also a fucking KKK son of a bitch. All right? We beat you bastards before, we'll beat you again, all right? We got to do another march to the sea, so be it, all right? You pieces of shit should not have a moment's peace in this country. All right.
This is America. This is what America has always been. Do you know anything about American history? Do you know what the hell are you talking about? Do you know anything about this country? Really? Do you know anything about your own country? America was born in expansionism. To sit here now and say, well, expansionism was wrong, we don't.
Matt Walsh struggling with the idea that manifest destiny was not a sustainable concept. It also had a colossal human cost.
What are you talking about? This country would not exist without it. America thrived, became a world power through expansionism.
No, America thrived and became a world power specifically by taking advantage of different geopolitical conflicts in the aftermath of World War I and World War II. And specifically, like, that was not fueled by the genocide America did in the Philippines. That was not, like, we did not benefit nationally from a lot of these things in any significant degree. Like, there's a reason we have the term banana republic, and it's because a lot of the expansionism was done for the benefit of corporations. Like, I don't really know how to, like, tell you guys this, but, like, those corporations getting rich didn't mean that, like, average working people got rich. Generally speaking, that wealth was not shared. It went to resource barons, you know? That, like, it was not a sustainable thing. It's not a sustainable thing to, like, go into every single country, overthrow it, and then hand it over to one of your, like, plutocratic friends.
You cannot claim to be an American patriot and have some kind of, like, fundamental problem with...
Like, the whole reason Europe is even our ally... I know I'm being a real pause champ right now, but the whole reason Europe is even, like, our ally right now is not because we went and did, like, a fucking, like, colonialism and, like, dominated all of their countries. It's because we did the Marshall Plan, and we rebuilt a lot of those countries in the aftermath of World War II. And that bought a lot of goodwill. It bought a lot of opportunities. But also, like, it was, to a degree, mutually beneficial. And, like, that, I would argue, is exactly what made America have the boom it had. It was not the imperialism that led to the boom.
Expansionism. Because without what you're saying is America has no right to exist. What you're saying is that America has no right to exist.
Oh, Mr. Natural, like, taking Venezuelan oil isn't even making the oil companies rich. It's making Donald Trump rich. They're selling that oil and then pocketing the money in, like, a private bank account that only Donald Trump controls that's located in Qatar. Like, we've, like... The idea that this expansion is going to benefit the American people, it's bullshit.
Expansion through buying new land, through conquering new land, through fighting, killing, bargaining. We've done it all. Okay, this country has done it all. We've done it.
Yeah, that's bad. This is like, I'm sorry. This is like listening to like a serial killer who's just like talking about another serial killer. And he's just like, you know, that John Wayne Gacy, just murdering right and left. You know, just so many different murders. You know, like it's really look at all of these tortures and murders. And like a really bloodthirsty guy. So cool. Incredible. I love how murdering and bloodthirsty my fellow serial killer is. It's just so good. And like, dude, no, it's bad. Anyone who's not a complete psychopath can tell you that it's bad to do these things. It is bad to, like, murder indigenous people. It is bad to steal resources. It is bad to do these things that have had, like, innumerable horrible consequences into the present day. But, like, you know, he's checked out. Matt Walsh and people like him on the right are just completely checked out, and they've bought into the racist nonsense of the KKK, of the neo-Nazis, and they're now spreading it. It's awful. And it's awful to see it become more commonplace in far-right circles. Largely, by the way, funded by financial interests and billionaires and companies that are very, very interested in perpetuating this type of mindset because it makes it easier for them to seize those resources and then reap all the profits at our expense. Essentially, they use these people as stupid, useful stooges and saps to trick people into essentially giving massive amounts of money to the richest people on the planet.
In every way possible. We would not exist without it. And I swear some of you right-wing weaklings sound like full-on white guilt leftists at this point. Are you about to break it?
You know, it's interesting. You sound like full-on white guilt leftists. You know, up till this point, he hasn't really brought up race as a concept here, but the fact that that's where his head is at, that, oh, well, obviously the imperialism, obviously the empire, obviously all of this serves white interest, it gives the entire game away, you know? Like, I don't know, is the sail on that boat in the background made out of a KKK hood? Who can say? We'd have to see the other side, I guess. But Matt Walsh is definitely doing his damnedest to make sure we all know exactly where he stands, and it's directly in front of a cross burning.
The land acknowledgements. I mean, it's mind-boggling. That's what's happening next. I'm going to start hearing these people do land acknowledgements.
I'm so... Wait. Nubadoc, his beard is not immaculate. His beard is fucking raggedy as shit. All right? I have watched the national bearding competitions, and let me tell you, Matt Walsh's beard ain't shit. All right? And if you don't know what the national bearding competitions are, let's just take at the look here. Here is Beard Team USA. Oh no, that's not even a picture of all of them. Competitor gallery. Let's see. How about... Yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is an immaculate beard. Okay? We're talking beards, man. Like, real fucking beards. People who take pride in their beards. Alright? Not these raggedy-ass bitches on Daily Wire. You ain't seen shit? I know! I'm just struggling to find the pictures! Yeah, here we go. Some of these beards are cut with mustaches. Let's see, I need to find a really good one. I mean, like... Dang, dude, look at this guy's mustache. That's some real cowboy shit. Alright? Do we have any better ones, though? There's gotta be, right? Yeah. I mean, look... Damn, dude. Let's go! Alright. Like, look at this cool guy. Hell yeah. Look, the bearding competitions are fun as hell, but okay, we got some real ones. Wait, 1 second. This guy made a fucking skull in his beard. That's so cool. Or this guy who shows up to an event in 2025 looking like a time traveler. Alright? Like, look at these guys. Immaculate beards. So cool. Also, just, you know, it's lovely to see who all gets allowed to take it, you know, come in to participate. I needed this. I know this part is going on too long, but you know what? This guy made a little Christmas tree out of his beard. I think that's delightful. I think this is goddamn delightful. And for those of you who are more interested in this than maybe you knew you could be, I want to remind all of you that there is, in fact, a reality television show about the bearding competitions. What is it called? It's called Whisker Wars. There's an honest-to-God show. Oh, God. Is there a trailer? Here's the Associated Press.
Bearding is a sport of growing, grooming, and presenting one's facial hair.
Whisker Wars basically just follows around members of Beard Team USA in our endeavors of, you know, traveling across country to different competitions, small local competitions, and then gearing up for the big world contest, which is every 2 years in Norway.
One nation has long dominated.
Oh, by the way, this guy absolutely goated beards.
Dominated Germany. But now, Beard Team USA, led by Captain Phil Olsen, hopes to stage an upset.
It's not like we're out there like duking it out in some kind of gladiator arena. You
Although
know,
that would be awesome.
It would be awesome, especially if they could like entwine themselves and like do a tug of war. But really,
These casuals are third rate at best. Seriously, look at this. You will shit your pants in amazement.
All right, that is a challenge.
Final contestant in the natural beard and mustache combo portion of the competition, Gregory Fane. Okay, judges, go ahead and get those scores. All right, we're going to move on to the freestyle beard portion of our contest. Dean Beacon, give it up.
Oh my God!
Ladies and gentlemen,
seriously look at this. You will shit your pants in amazement.
I didn't shit my pants, but that was very good. That was very good. Whisker Wars is very fun. Y'all should check it out though. Let's move on from this. No way, really? A whole show? A whole ass show. It's great. If you've ever wanted to see a bunch of men who look kind of like Matt Walsh, but less hateful, preen like the most beauty pageanted ladies you've ever seen in your life, but it's all over their beards, you should watch Whisker Wars. It's great.
Okay, now that doesn't mean that every expansionist dream that someone comes up with, that Trump or anyone else comes up with, doesn't mean it's automatically the right move. There could be things you would do in the name of expansionism that would be a bad move.
Yeah. Also, if you guys want to see great beard, and mustache, here on the internet, you should go watch Real Radham, who's a friend of mine. Check out his content because he's got the best beard that I know.
Be wrong. We can have that argument. I'm not saying that. But the arguments that I'm hearing from a lot of people are like you are fundamentally opposing the very idea of expansionism, of conquest. You're opposing the very idea of it. Which if you claim to be an America First patriot, is just like it's not a valid position. You can't, because you are.
I will agree with Matt Walsh here that yes, if you are America First and you are against the idea of America expanding itself, that doesn't make very much sense. But that is also exactly why the idea of America First has always been bad and stupid and wrong. Like, we live in an interconnected world. Acting as if we don't is stupid. Like, I don't know what else to say.
Are opposing the very essence of America. You're opposing America itself. To begin with, Europeans colonized and conquered the East Coast of what would become America from Maine to Georgia, and that's to say nothing of all the land that was claimed by France and other European powers. And so that's to begin with. Like, as the left often points out with their dumb little land acknowledgments, we came, as in European pioneers and settlers, explorers, came to this land, and they colonized it, and they conquered it.
Yeah, that was bad. That was actually really awful and resulted in millions of people dying. Pointing out that, like, one of the greatest tragedies in the history of the world was done deliberately is that does not bolster your point, sir.
And yes, there were people living in some of the areas that they colonized, and they got into fights with those people, and they kicked them out, and they conquered the land. So to now sound so scandalized by the very idea of it.
Yeah, it was bad, Matt. They would just cut off people's hands if they didn't give them enough gold. That was bad. Hey, well, the issue with Matt Walsh is if I was like, hey, do you think it'd be all right if a McDonald's owner just cut off employees' hands for not grilling fast enough or something? Matt Walsh would probably just say, yeah, no, I would love that idea. I love the idea of torturing people lower on the economic chain. God, absolutely disgusting, this man. Question: if someone crashed and a load of diesel spilled on the road right outside the ice cream center, what would happen legally? Legally, the person who crashed would probably be held responsible for the crash. Though the company that person worked for would likely have insurance that would cover it. If not, it would probably be relegated to public expense to clean it up. A skid pan would be put on the road? I guess the road would probably be closed off and people would be redirected towards other routes until it's cleaned up.
It's like, well, that's the way the world has always worked. That's how this country would not exist without it.
Yeah, and like the world would still be fine. Like the world would, like, if America as like an idea didn't exist, something else would exist here. For example, the Iroquois Confederacy might still exist. Like it might be like the dominant power in the region, and like the idea of democracy that was built upon, like, might have proliferated to a greater degree, and maybe hateful bigots like Matt Walsh wouldn't be able to do their job anymore. And like, I don't know, maybe that'd be a good thing.
So, and then and it didn't stop there, obviously, right? I mean, after the revolution, we immediately expanded, like, hungrily. As soon as this country was a country, we were hungry to expand.
Yeah, and in the process, we killed millions, and that was bad. And maybe we shouldn't have done that. Like, again, this idea that, like, oh, well, all these things, to me, this is like listening to someone talk about how, like, the Holocaust was great. Like, we really had to make more living rooms, so, we had to do the Holocaust, is essentially his argument here. Except that, for whatever reason, in his head, it's categorically different to, like, kill indigenous people than to kill, like, a different minority group. And he's just like full on like, yeah, no, the world's a better place for us having done genocides. Like, this man is genuinely one of the most evil people on the internet. And the fact that he is allowed to continue to spill his bile and is, like, weirdly categorized not in the same bucket as someone like Nick Fuentes or someone like Richard Spencer, to me, is baffling.
Yeah, the Louisiana Purchase doubled the size of the country in 1803, and then we acquire Florida, and the annexation of Texas, and the Oregon Treaty, the Mexican-American War, where we won California, and Arizona, and New Mexico, and Nevada, and Utah through blood, fought and killed for it.
Yeah. That was bad. Like, people also died for it, Matt. Americans died for it. Indigenous people died for it. That was bad. And, like, there's not really anything else to argue here, because Matt Walsh it just joyously thinks that, like, the extinguishing of human life is a net good if they are of a certain complexion. Like, that's ultimately what it boils down to. He cannot be bothered to have any kind of respect for the lives of people who are darker than him. And it's disgusting. Any person of conscience and moral fiber should, like, feel like disgust in their stomach for people like this. Do not let these people into your bars, my friends. Because in short order, they will be Nazi bars.
Purchase of Alaska in the 1860s, the annexation of Hawaii. We built the Panama Canal and controlled it for basically the entire 20th century. I mean, this is just a partial list. I mean, this is a partial list that brings us only to about 1914 with the opening of the Panama Canal. This is how America came to be. This is how America became a superpower. This is what America.
So if we needed to do a few genocides, what's the big deal?
Is and has always been, and I'm proud of that. To me, I'm not ashamed of that. This is what.
I mean, like, you don't need to be ashamed of it because you didn't personally do it, but we should recognize that reality and seek to not do that again. The thing you should be ashamed about, Matt Walsh, is that you sit there lusting after doing all of that again. Like, your main argument here is that we should do a genocide on one of our allies because you think it's good. Like, you just think, like, it is categorically good for America to do that. And, like, fundamentally, I disagree. And I hold on firm to the belief that there are more Americans in this country who think that that is vile, unconscionable evil, and who are willing to fight you on that. Like, maybe time will prove me wrong, but I hope not, and I don't think it will. Because I think people all over this country, everywhere, in all of its corners, are standing up and saying no to more of this. And so we will continue to fight you to our dying day with everything we got. Because this is just fucking evil, and you should be ashamed of that, Matt.
But we need, especially if you claim to be an America First patriot. Again, that doesn't mean you have to support every single thing the president does. It doesn't mean you can't make intelligent arguments against certain things. There might be an intelligent argument against acquiring Greenland. I don't know what it is. Again, like I think like very clearly we should acquire it if we can. For all the like the benefits are very clear. But maybe it's an argument I'm willing to listen to it. But we have to get to a point where we can say, you know what? This country was born through conquest, fighting, dying, yes, killing for the land that we have now. I'm proud of that. I'm proud to live here. I'm grateful for it, more importantly. It's not anything I did, but I'm grateful for all the effort that was taken. And now we have to ask, like, has history really ended? And now all that is in the past. Like the rules have totally changed arbitrarily somehow in the 20th century at some point. The rules completely changed, and conquest and expansionism was the way of the world for thousands of years. And then at some point in the late 20th century, it just stopped. And now we're all of a sudden in a new reality where none of that counts anymore, and you can't do any of that anymore. Is that the case? When did we cross that magical threshold? When did we walk through that magical door? I don't remember it. I think we're still living in the world. I think we're still living on the globe, and the realities of the world still apply. And one of those realities is that, especially for America, especially like the American spirit is one of expanding, exploring, conquering, not being satisfied, not just looking at, well, this is our little plot of land here, and let's leave it at that. That's never been the American spirit, ever. And it can't be. And so I support it, as I've said, on those grounds alone. Truly. That's why I also am a big supporter of, I think we should be going in space. I think trying to make it to other planets, colonize other planets. I'm a big supporter of that. Why? Because that's American. That's what Americans do. Hey, you.
That's the end of that. And I guess I will just end this segment by saying that I am proud of at least one military action that my state took in the past. And that is specifically, Minnesota was the first to answer the call when Lincoln asked for volunteers to bolster Union forces at the kickoff of the Civil War. And I will say that I fully support the ability to fight against these people by any and all means. Like, this man over here is just full-throatedly defending genocide and violence and conquest. And I just want to point out that one of the few times I'm proud of American violence is when Americans stood up and said, no more of this slavery nonsense. And we walked down into the South, to the land of traitors, and we sorted that nonsense out. And you know what? If folks like this are coming up again, then I guess we'll have to, like, settle this again. And my hope is that enough of us can organize peacefully that it doesn't have to escalate any more than that. But this evil needs to be fought. This evil needs to be opposed. This is the kind of evil that sends millions of good people to their deaths. This is the kind of evil that advocates for the executions of women and children. This is the kind of evil that makes excuses for, mass graves and atrocities. And I think that on any moral basis whatsoever, and every moral basis whatsoever, these people need to be fought. And, I can't speak for all of you, but I will fight this type of ideology with everything I have. And I will build this platform to oppose this type of ideology with everything I have. And I seek to build a better world where someone who thinks like this cannot be afforded a platform like the one he has right now. That someone like this is not able to build up the traction that he has. Where people who think like this are relegated to the outskirts of society and rightfully mocked until the day they die for how hateful and awful and evil they are. We will salt their goddamn fields if we have to. And with that being said, you need to get fucking organized, folks, because if we aren't, they are. So join your local Dems, join your local DSA. I know that you might be upset about the lack of radical progressive ideas from your local Dems. You can be part of the push to change that. I know you might be upset about the lack of sufficient change and effectiveness in your local DSA. You can be a part of changing that. So folks, if you need help doing those things, join our Discord, reach out to GamerG for help joining your local DSA, reach out to Dragonfly for help joining your local Dems, and let's fight these fuckers. All right? And I will also say, if you've gotten anything out of today's segment here, please leave a comment longer than 8 words. It really helps in the algorithm. I cannot emphasize enough, especially if a video doesn't have an eye-catching title. We just put up the one about Donald Trump threatening the head of the Federal Reserve, and I know that's going to be algorithmic poison, but it's important, and so I put it up there. But when you guys leave longer comments, it really helps in the algorithm for the videos. So consider doing that if you thought I did a good job. And also, remember to subscribe, remember to like, and last but not least, check out ImogeneOlivia.com. Gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes and tested on cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is non-tucking lingerie. It's super comfortable. I highly recommend you check it out. New styles and colors are going to be coming in the near future. And also, consider buying it just because it will piss off people like Matt Walsh. There is nothing that they will hate more than the idea that, a gender euphoric lingerie line exists. So check it out. Link should be down in the description. And let's keep on going, folks. There we go. Also, yes, like the goddamn live stream, you silly billies. We got a little song to let you know what to do. Go, go, go. Click the button, click the button. Click the button, click the goddamn button. Click the button, click the button. Click the button, click the goddamn button. Click the button, click the button. Click the button, click the goddamn button. Click the button, click the button. Click the button, click the goddamn button. Click the button, click the button. Click the button, click the goddamn button. Click the button, click the button. Click the button, click the goddamn button. Click the button, click the button. Click the button, click the goddamn button. Click the button, click the button. Click the button, click the goddamn button. Click button. Click button. Click button. Click button. Click There we go, folks. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Oof. All right. Did I see protests in solidarity with Greenland? I did. I will use this footage you sent me, though. Appreciated. Oh, God. Yeah. I will also point out here, folks, real quick, while we're just before we get over the stank of Matt Walsh. So, folks, Matt Walsh is basically, as far as I can tell, the only person at the Daily Wire anymore who is putting out any kind of content that seems to be driving views to what they're doing. Like Michael Knowles is on the decline. He's been like scrambling to try and figure out what to do. Like the other day, he interviewed some Gen Z like TikToker who breaks his face with a hammer named Clavicular or something like that. Maybe we'll go over that on a brain rot segment sometime soon. But I wanted to point out this that Matt Walsh put out, and it's a trailer for upcoming Matt Walsh content. And I guess to kind of preface this, have you ever wanted to learn history wrong? Like as a joke? Have you ever wanted to just not understand historical events and to like deliberately misinterpret them in the most racist way possible? Well, boy howdy, we've got real history with Matt Walsh now. Huzzah! And I think you can all tell exactly how this is going to go from frame 1 of the trailer for it. Oh boy.
They told you America invented slavery. They told you the Indians were peaceful. They told you colonialism was evil and that Joseph McCarthy was a bad guy. And guess what? They lied. For half a century, generations of American school children have been taught to hate our history, hate our country, and hate themselves. It's time to set the record straight. And since no one else is going to do it, I will. Who sold us the slaves? What were India and Africa like before Europeans arrived? What caused white flight? Some of the most well-known stories from American history are designed to demoralize you. Trail of Tears, Smallpox Blankets myth, the Red Scare. It's all baseless. It's time for a lesson on what they're not teaching in public schools, on the real history of slavery, of colonialism, of the Indians, of America, and the world. It's time for Real History with Matt Walsh.
Like, it's just so much garbage, you know? It's just so much garbage packed into 1 minute. But essentially, what he's pledging to do here is to take everything that America has ever done that is categorically and like morally wrong and vile and evil, and to say, well, actually, it's very good that America did all of these evil things. Oh shit, he's gonna say Jews on the slave ships, isn't he? There's a high likelihood that there's gonna be some anti-Semitism woven in there. There's a high likelihood that there is going to be, well, I mean, it guaranteed likelihood that it's going to be racist. Who built him in a lab? I don't know, probably some inbred, like, KKK cuck. Like, you know, like, this is their super soldier that they put out into the world, you know? But that's a thing that exists, and I had to know about it, and so I thought I would curse all of you with knowing it too. You're welcome, I guess. It's gonna be What If Alt Hist, but with like somehow worse historical sourcing. It's gonna be so much worse. All right. Anyway, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Comments longer than 8 words help more, and leave a like, share it around, do the things, but we gotta fight these folks. So please join your local Dems, join your local DSA if you need help, join our Discord. And folks, Also, check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie design from the ground up for trans femmes. Link down in the doobly-doo. Let's keep on going. I know. You guys come in here for a good time, then I torture you until we're done. But, I do have some hopeful optimism here, okay? You guys want some hope? I'm looking into joining my local DSA, just super busy, have no money/income right now, so I'm waiting until I get a job. You can join DSA for free. There are sliding scales based on income. So you can consider joining even if you are out of work at the moment. And also, a lot of DSAs have like mutual aid funds. They might be able to help you like keep looking for a job. Just a thought. Here at the Flat Earth Podcast, we're going to discuss things they don't teach you about the planet in public school. Yep. Brutus Magnuson, thank you for the $5 super chat. And folks, if you are enjoying this show so far, getting anything out of it, we've been going for about 2 hours now. Please consider supporting it with your subs, your donos, your memberships, your super chats, etc. Because folks, you guys make this show possible. Like those super chats, those donos, they are what allow me to do what I do. So please consider supporting how you can. Let me give you an update on where we are vis-a-vis the sub count. I believe we are currently at 641. So we are almost at our next goal. How about if you lack transportation? If you lack transportation, you can attend most DSA meetings digitally. I want some bourbon, some special bourbon. Oh fuck. Don't you worry. That's coming up. We're coming up on that. God. Becoming Tanya, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships over on YouTube. I very, very much appreciate it. Yes, give me money to tell you lies that I then source off of reporting in front of you and studies in front of you. Trust me, I'm commenter John Bunch of Numbers. I know the real truth, and that real truth is whatever Matt Walsh says. I'm only able to type this because my hands aren't currently busy jacking off Matt Walsh. Am I wearing anything IO today? Not today. Today I'm wearing this really fun bra from a place called Honey Burdette. I got it on super sale, so it was dirt cheap, but usually it's pretty expensive. John Bunch of Numbers is my name too. No. All right. Thank you, Becoming Tanya, for stepping up and being a supporter of the stream today. Very much appreciated. All right, let's jump into some hopium. Okay. Here y'all go. So, folks, I wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that while the United States is warmongering over Greenland, there are some reasons to hope. Specifically, it is really hard to manufacture a narrative that says Greenland really wants to secretly be part of the United States. Just trust us, bro. They really want to be part of the United States. It's really hard to manufacture that narrative when not a single Greenlander wants to meet with like JD Vance or JD Vance's wife or Donald Trump or anyone from the administration, really, because they hate us. Rightfully so. And also, it's really hard to make that argument when a significant portion of Greenland's population turns out for a united day of protest and demonstration. Now, I want to emphasize before I play this that the population of Greenland is roughly around 60,000 people. And in one of their largest cities, a place of about 20,000 people, they had this demonstration today in the city of Nuuk. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Like, I want to emphasize, there's a very real possibility that, like, a significant percentage of the population turned out for coordinated action to demonstrate exactly to what degree they are not interested in being part of the United States. And I wanted to really point out here, like, yeah, there are signs saying no means no, but the idea, like, oh, we need to take over Greenland in order to preserve their freedom and liberty. They have the ability to declare independence anytime. Greenland can declare independence from Denmark at any time. It just takes a simple majority vote in a referendum. That is it. Part of the reason they don't is because they are, to a degree, economically dependent on Denmark. However, there are, portions of the population that are working towards economic independence, and when that happens, it seems to be, from the polling I've seen, that most Greenlanders would want to be independent if it did not mean diminishing standard of their living. And, like, more power to them. But the arguments that the Trump administration are making about how, prosperity will be brought to Greenland, it's just bullshit, and they all know it. And I understand that narrative is for us in America. It is to dupe Americans. And when footage like this is put out there and we see, oh, actually the people of Greenland do not want us there to run their country, like, that does actual real damage to the Trump narrative, and it is helpful. It helps push the needle against the idea of trying to occupy Greenland. This, of course, occurred in conjunction with protests from Denmark, who also turned out earlier today. Let's just take a look here at what happened in Copenhagen. Supposedly, over 1 million people turned out. Trump, your need for megalomaniac legacy needs a psychiatrist, not Greenland. Too true. Just a bunch of, like, good-hearted folks coming out to make sure, like, the United States doesn't just blow apart, a century of relative peace between the United States and Europe. Just, like, I don't know, this stuff helps. A lot of Americans don't see this. Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! I did not see this. Oh my god. That is murder by sculpture. Oh my god.
Greenland not for sale. Greenland not for sale. Greenland.
Wow.
So Donald, we don't want to be Americans. We are Greenlanders, and we want to be in a democratic world, and we hope Americans, they will support us.
I've never met an American who thinks anything other. Greenland should be free, and Greenland should be for the Greenlanders.
Yankee, go home. I mean, like, it really does help for us to see that, because here is what the narrative from the United States end is going to be, all right? Here is Mike Waltz, who is the ambassador to Greenland from the United States, trying to make the case just, when was this? Earlier today, while those protests were ongoing.
Denmark's defense expenditures, they have 0 heavy icebreakers. They really have no Navy in the Western Hemisphere to speak of, and they certainly aren't contributing in a meaningful way to the Golden Dome, space, or other types of missile defense we have to have. Meanwhile, look at Russia with over 60 icebreakers, some nuclear. The Chinese are building more. They're pushing up into the natural resources that are up there, that are increasingly exposed in the polar regions. We have to secure the United States. The Greenlanders will be better for it, and our alliance will be better for it.
I mean, that's kind of the point the president is making, right? When you hear the pushback about there's no threat today, nobody's bothering Greenland today. Well, this is not about today, right? This is
like, it is incredible the amount of glazing and validity, like the sane washing of these ideas. Because I want to really reiterate, again, I've said it so many times now, but I'm going to reiterate again. They don't have a Navy because there are 60,000 people there. And they're part of the largest and strongest mutual defense alliance in the history of the world, i.e., they are protected not just by their own military forces, but they are protected by all of Europe's military forces and all of Canada's military forces. Everyone who is in NATO is pledged to the defense of Greenland, including the United States. The idea that we can't build air defense, that's bullshit. We have air defense in Greenland. The idea we can't build military bases, that's bullshit. We have military bases in Greenland. Like, all of these, like, claims that, oh, we just need these things and we can't get them unless we control the territory. It's just 1000% a lie, because we already have those things there. And to the extent that we might not have any of those things, we can build those things or send those things there because we're part of a mutual defense compact. We literally have mining companies in Greenland right now. Like, that's like the idea, oh, we need it. What about the rare minerals? We have those there. Like, we are already working with Greenland's government to have those things and to like mutually, like, bring them out of the ground and send them around the world to the benefit of the people of Greenland. But this is not at all what this is about. This is about flattering the soup brain of a dementia-addled man who should never have been allowed to be president again. His brain is gone, folks. He thought people were going to be messing up whole milk. For the last 2 days, he's been talking about whole milk and making sure everyone knows that the kind of whole milk he's talking about is the kind of whole milk that has a W in the front of it, because we all were going to get confused otherwise. Dude's brain is gone. Yeah, goddamn soup sandwich brain over here.
Is about what might happen in the next coming years. That's what national security is about.
That's right. It's looking forward in the future threats that we do see rising, both from all of our adversaries, but also it's about looking back. This area, this region was completely ignored by both NATO and Denmark, who is a great ally otherwise, but just doesn't have the resources or the capacity to do what needs to be done in the northern region. And to the, to the Democrats who say, well, they're giving you full access. Look, everybody knows that if you are renting a place or a home, you treat it differently than if you own it.
Yeah.
And from
What does that mean, dude? This isn't a house. It's not a condo. It's not an apartment. What are you talking about?
Standpoint of international law, President Trump is trying to make a deal, as President Truman tried to do in the 40s, as we did with the Virgin Islands, which we purchased from Denmark for $25 million in the 20th century. So,
yeah, and you know what? This one isn't for sale. It turns out Greenland is not for sale. Greenlanders don't want to be sold. And fuck you. How about that?
So there's nothing wrong with that, and he's doing what needs to be done. If you look at,
he's doing what needs to be done. Now, I will say, all of this is in this new attitude here that we're seeing from, Mike Waltz, is still trying to make the same arguments for taking Greenland, right? However, there is a slight shift. And that slight shift is that today, Donald Trump announced that there would be a 10% tariff on all countries sending tripwire troops to Greenland. And if, his demands are not met, it will go up to 25% on June 1st of this year. So instead, we're having a light trade war with Europe instead of sending troops, which is utter bullshit for a number of different reasons that I'll get into. But I will say it also is better than what he was threatening to do not a handful of days ago, which is send troops into Greenland. He asked his military commandos to draw up plans to send special forces to Greenland. And the fact that he is not doing that is good. I read this in, Trump's deranged way of doing a de-escalation to save face. And I say that this is a de-escalation largely because this is the man who just on a whim put a 145% tariff on Chinese goods last year, and that was devastating and awful. And notice that for him, a 10% tariff is relatively minor. So, I think that that's relatively good compared to, open hostilities with the EU and NATO. And so, I do want to say that this is great in the sense that it does not appear World War III is imminent. This is obviously still bullshit for European nations. And it's also absolutely bullshit for Americans. The president doesn't normally have the ability to unilaterally impose tariffs on other nations. The only reason he has that is because Republicans dominate Congress and have completely abdicated their their responsibility to the American people. And he's just using this as an excuse because this isn't going to really damage European companies that much, but it is going to raise prices for Americans by 10%, by 25% on these European goods. And to the extent that prices haven't gone way up over the past year, it's because companies were burning through their current inventory before they order more, hoping that the tariffs would come down. And so any of these new tariffs that are being implemented on companies that have no more inventory, that's going to be passed on to you guys. It's going to be passed on to Americans. It is going to hurt us. It is intended to hurt us. It is intended to tax working people in this country in order to give bigger and bigger checks to the wealthiest people on the planet. It is just a unilateral tax on the American people. And I want to add, I don't imagine this tariffing is actually going to work, and like suddenly Denmark is going to turn over and be like, oh no, you can buy it now. I don't think that's going to happen. I read this as an attempt to save face, while not really achieving anything for Trump aside from taxing Americans. And ultimately, that is going to be awful for us, but we should deal with the consequences of our own actions instead of, damaging the rest of the world's security. So hang on, folks, outside the US. We're going to continue to do our best here to fight and organize. And I will say that if you guys are interested in getting organized, join your local Dems, join your local DSA. Let's sort out our issues on the local level and then build up our power on the state level and then build up our power on the national level. The midterms are coming up. This is going to be an opportunity for us to curtail some of these things that Trump is doing. If Democrats, for example, are able to take Congress in the midterms here, the result of that will be Congress being able to take back its tariff power. The result of that will be Congress being able to curtail Donald Trump's efforts in a number of different ways and perhaps avoid some of the worst damage that he might otherwise do. Additionally, yes, if we win both the House and the Senate and Trump is on his way out and his influence over the party is waning, there is a real possibility that impeachment could happen, not just in the House, but a conviction in the Senate could follow. But that relies on us getting organized and winning enough seats. So, folks, get organized. Join your local Dems. Join your local DSA. If you need help, join our Discord. Reach out to GamerG for help with your DSA. Reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. And let's get organized. We have... I think the number of people who have joined DSA in this community is now over 50 or 60. Let's get to triple digits. All right. And also, folks, I know it might be irritating as hell, especially for those of us on the left who are, socialists or otherwise, but join your local Dems and get organized there too. All right. We need to stop these, like, Gavin Newsom types, these corporate centrist pieces of shit from rising to prominence in this country. One of the only ways we can do that is if we get involved in the Democratic Party and do a kind of hostile takeover. So get involved, and if you got anything out of this, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment longer than 8 words. The 8-word plus comments really juice the video in the algorithm, so please... do comment on my videos if you're watching on the VOD or watching on the segments I upload to YouTube. And check out ImogeneOlivia.com. Gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes, tested on cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. People love it. It fits everyone really great. It is non-tucking lingerie, feminine, beautiful, and comfortable. So check it out. Link should be down in the doobly-doo. And let's keep on going, folks. Whew. If we even have elections in November, I think we're going to have elections in November. I need to blow my nose real quick. I will be right back. And when I return, we'll be talking about some Minneapolis shenanigans. Do little words count towards the 8 count? I think so, Bad Lefty. I will also say thank you to Mahubaka for the $50 dono towards the start of that segment. It happened just right as I was trying to show some footage, so I muted it real quick and did not say thank you. But I really, really appreciate the support. Folks like you make this show possible. And Sloan with Ains, thank you for the tier 1 sub. or Sloan Whit Haynes. Let me know how you pronounce your username. Thank you for subscribing. And I'll be right back. Just need to blow my nose real quick. Boop-a-doop-boop-boop-boo.
Come on and take a walk with me through this green and growing land. Walk through the meadows and the mountains and the sand. Walk through the valleys and the rivers and the plains. Walk through the sun and walk through the rain. Here's a land full of power and glory, beauty that words cannot recall. All her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom. Glory shall rest on us all. From Colorado, Kansas, and the Carolinas too, Virginia and Alaska, from the old to the new, Texas and Ohio and the California shore. Tell me who could ask for more? Here is a land full of power and glory, beauty that words cannot recall. All her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom. Glory shall rest on us all. Yet she's only as rich as the poorest of the poor, only as free as a padlocked prison door, only as strong as our love for this land, only as tall as we stand. For here is a land full of power and glory, beauty that words cannot recall. All her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom. Glory shall rest on us all. Come on and take a walk with me through this green and growing land. Walk through the meadows and the mountains and the sand. Walk through the valleys and the rivers and the plains. Walk through the sun and walk through the rain. Here is a land full of power and glory, beauty that words cannot recall. All her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom. Glory shall rest on us all, on us all.
Hello, I'm back. Whew. Phil Ox, indeed. Absolute legend. My top stream song is either Rise or William Tell. I have a real soft spot for both of those, and myself, Archangel DeKalb. Folks, we've been going for about 2.5 hours. If you've been getting anything out of the stream today, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And also, please consider supporting the stream. You guys make it possible for me to do what I do. Not some corporate stooge or a billionaire someplace. It's you guys. So click the goddamn button. Go, go, go. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click 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 button. Woof. Just seen on Insta people dressing up as Ice. I hope in like a fun way, like they're cosplaying as Ice in front of Ice, like but like as like physical ice, like they're icicles. That'd be funny. That shirt is thank you. Whew. Thank you for the £2 K7 thing or K thing, we'll say. Yeah, some satirical ice. Um, great stream. Shirt is fire. Thank you. It's like a really like I'm just like that. This crop from Killstar is just it's really fun. I like it a lot. It's cozy, and then I just have like a mesh shirt underneath and this wonderful honey burdette bralette. Also, folks, do want to say, let's talk about some of this real quick though. Can I clown on a conservative before we jump into talking about Minneapolis and ICE? Just real quick. I know I have to ask for your forgiveness. I think you guys will enjoy clowning on this guy. Sure? Hell yeah. Okay. Let's do it. Also, if we hit 700 subs, I will let my hair down. I don't know if that's an incentive to any of you, but just you can unlock a new look for Riverboat Jack. Some costume DLC. All right. Anyway. So, folks, real quick, I just wanted to tell you guys that I have had the misfortune, thanks to Paladin Lost in our community, of learning that Rob Schneider has a new line of bourbon. Tears of the Left. Am I 21 plus years old? Yes, I am. Yeah, so they've assembled essentially like a team of mediocre acting Avengers to try and sell this god-awful bourbon. And you've got Rob Schneider, of course, but you've also got what's his face? We've got off-brand Hercules over here. I want to say Ken Ham, but I know that's not correct. And we have some kind of figure over here. It looks to be a lady of some kind. And maybe Gavin McGinnis or something. Like, I don't know. I can't. Kevin Sorbo, thank you. You got Rob Schneider, Kevin Sorbo. I don't know who this one's gonna be. But yeah, their entire gimmick is they have a bunch of videos of people on the left crying on social media, and they think that by pairing that with mediocre bourbon, they're going to be able to make some money. And unfortunately, they're probably right. Like, this is just their entire careers now. Like, their entire careers are, you know, self-victimization and like, oh, people won't be nice to me because I'm nasty and racist and awful. Oh, boo 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 boo, give me millions of dollars. And like, somehow that's working for them. Oh shit, Slaughterama in YouTube chat. I've sampled this shit. It's awful. It's basically Jack Daniels without the sauce. Oh no. That's so bad. Oh god. Oh. Tears of the Left is woke meltdowns distilled. Buy now. Step 1, trigger. And it's all AI imagery, by the way. Like, this is all AI bullshit, you can tell. First, spark a liberal meltdown. Think mean memes, election results, courtroom victories, bills passed, and peace deals that leave pundits speechless. Cue the tears. Collect. Next, we gather those liberal tears, each one pure and filtered for greatness. Then we age them in new American oak barrels because freedom deserves good wood. Distill. Finally, we distill those tears into the best bourbon, so smooth it makes the narrative nervous. This isn't just the best whiskey, it's a drink with convictions. And is it though? Does it have convictions? Because I'm just it comes pre-spiked. Jesus, yeah. If you buy enough, they'll give you a creepy white van. Oh, Legends limited edition boxes. Buy 2, get 3rd at 50% off. That's how you know it's great. When you can have a buy 2, get 3rd half off, that's how you know it's great. Kami Tier Stone Edition. For fans who believe jokes shouldn't get canceled or watered down. You all understand how, like, putting a picture of Rob Schneider next to that is deeply funny, but not in the way they think, right? It's $100. It's $100. Chat, it's $100 to buy this shitty bourbon in a box. Oh my god. They also don't have 5 different whiskeys. If you buy that $450 5-pack, you're getting 5 bottles of the same whiskey. Oh god. They have different boxes. Look at you get the Rob Schneider box or the Snowflake Tearstone edition from Kevin Sorbo. There's literally nothing that distinguishes these except that each one has a different little pamphlet inside. Oh my god, these broke-ass bitches. Good, guys, no matter how poor you are, no matter how much you might lack resources, at least your dignity and self-respect is worth more than any of these guys, you know? Oh my god. Oh, you can get a Legend collector's card. Yeah, make sure you collect all of them. They might be worth something someday. Oh my god. Oh good, there's gonna be the globalist Tearstone, the DEI Tearstone, the feminist Tearstone. So cool. You get look, you could get a different color stone in each one. Rich conservatives who buy this shit are the easiest marks in the universe. If you ever wondered, like, who was falling for, like, the Nigerian prince email scams, it was conservatives who buy this shit. I just cannot. It is so silly. No, but guys. Let's be clear. It's $450 if you use the right code. Under normal circumstances, it's $500. It is $500 to buy 5 awful whiskeys. Guys, this isn't even like I look, I'm not here to try and sell you guys whiskey, and I'm not sponsored, but look, if you need a whiskey that's not $100 and you can get your hands on Crooked Water, all right, Crooked Water is like actually good whiskey. It's distilled here in Minnesota and also does not cost $100 a bottle and is very good whiskey and not made by bigots and shitheels who are trying to scam you. Like, you can just go find better whiskey. It is really easy. So anyway, the main takeaway is go drink some Spirits of the North Crooked Water. Like go do that. Or Crooked Water Spirits of the North. There you go. Yes, they also make some gin. It's really good. I really like what they make. Fuck. Oh fuck, it's just so awful. The site on mobile and the HTML is busted. the mobile site doesn't work super great, Space and Goats, but folks are able to manage. I don't run the website. That's run by White Forest. But if you're running into problems, Space and Goats, you can reach out to the support tab. White Forest is a small German, worker co-op. They do their best, but also if you're running into issues, they can help you figure that out. God. Can we look at pet pics? No. Anyway, that's what your favorite grifters are doing. And, I don't know. I think it's funny. Like, comment, subscribe. Do the things. God. Yeah, Rob Schneider spent so much time in Adam Sandler's shadow that he genuinely just, faded away into nothingness, huh? Oh, you mean the left tier's conservative site is busted?
No, I mean the left tier's conservative site is busted. Images aren't loading finally.
Oh, God. Oh my God, wait, it gets worse.
Shimpin from work, shrimp emoji, shrimp emoji, shrimp emoji.
Hell yeah. Charlie Jinmir, thank you for the $5 super chat. It gets worse, guys. They have a Twitter account, and it's all just AI generated garbage. Like, it's just taking videos of the modern moment to use as advertising. This seems like it should be illegal, by the way. Just taking random strangers' images and videos off the internet to use to sell your product. How does Mehdi Hassan feel that he's being used to sell awful whiskey to the dumbest people alive? You know, I don't know. I'm curious. This seems like a lawsuit waiting to happen. But Jesus Christ. Hey. Anyway, that's where we're at right now as a republic. Sorry to my editor for this being messy as hell, but Jesus. That was certainly a thing that we all now know. All right, moving right along. Ay. Charlie Jinmir, thank you for the membership as well. Hell yeah. I need you to post on the Hell site for me at them and tell them that I'm a professional chef. Their whiskey tastes like stale Jack Daniels filtered through a used gym sock. I'm not going to post on Twitter, though. Their avatars are children, very sus. Just saying, true. All right, folks. Let's talk about ICE. Let's talk about ICE. I am going to warn you guys, our initial opening here, our opening salvo in this, we are going to go over the footage of Renee Good's murder one more time. And we are also going to be going over some additional reporting on the second ICE attempted murder here in Minnesota. And we're going to be talking about some disturbing stuff. So just a heads up on that. and then we're going to get into some of the additional things that have been happening around Minneapolis. So, there you go. Get ready, folks. Diving in. So, folks, I wanted to talk just one additional time. And I know for a lot of you, I'm preaching to the choir when I say Renee Good was murdered. And many of you have already seen my coverage of this, where we went frame by frame in the video, and we saw different details, like her tires were turned away from the officer. We saw different details like her hands turning the car away from the officer as he looked at her. We saw that his feet were clear of the car's path as she was making her turn, and even as she turned prior to him firing shots. But I do want to say the New York Times has put out a very good overview and breakdown of this murder from a number of different angles. And I thought that going over that, especially because some of the video that they were able to obtain is different from what I saw, that I think it's worth all of us taking a look at it in one last time, just to really make sure no one is ever able to gaslight you ever again that this officer was fearing for his life, or that this officer was even hit by this car. All right? So let's just take a look. Come on, New York Times, let's go.
This is a cell phone video filmed by the ICE agent who shot and killed Renee Good in Minneapolis. The White House press secretary said this footage reaffirmed President Trump's previous claim, based on other videos, that Miss Good, quote, didn't try to run him over, she ran him over.
Get out of the car.
Watched in isolation, the cell phone video might look like that's the case. But when analyzed alongside other angles of the shooting, synchronized by the Times, a much more complicated picture is revealed. More footage will likely emerge, but the currently available visual evidence still shows no indication Agent Jonathan Ross got run over. The footage does provide some visibility into the positioning between the agent and Miss Good's SUV and the key moments of escalation. And it establishes, frame by frame, how Agent Ross put himself in a dangerous position near her vehicle in the first place. About 3 minutes before...
Yeah, no, I know that many of you guys saw this footage initially and were like, oh yeah, no, that's just murder. But there are some people out there who are just like, no, she was disobeying lawful orders, and therefore, and then tried to hit him with her car, and she bumped him with her car, and he was fearing for his life, even though the footage might not show that. He was afraid for his life, and that justified the shooting. But I want y'all to understand, that's bullshit. That is bullshit. I don't remember if it is covered in this particular breakdown, but I want to point out that as he moved in front of her car, right, there is a moment where he shifts which hand he is using to film from his right dominant hand to his left hand. And my argument is that in that moment, he made the decision to shoot one of them. All right? Because there's no reason to shift that hand unless you are, in your mind, thinking, I'm going to pull out my gun. And at that moment, there is no possible reason for him to pull out his gun. Because that car isn't moving yet. But we also know that Jonathan Ross worked in Border Patrol. And we know that over the years, Border Patrol has a reputation for officers deliberately stepping in front of moving vehicles in order to justify shooting people in cars. That is a known issue in Border Patrol. It has been known about for over a decade. There are reports going back to like 2012 talking about this. And also we know that every use of force, manual in our law enforcement discourages shooting and says, do not do this, shooting people behind the wheels of cars. Because when you shoot someone who is driving a car, their foot goes limp, which means it goes down on the accelerator, which means if you are in front of a car and you shoot somebody who is driving the car, that car accelerates to you. So any kind of training someone might have in law enforcement is against shooting someone who is driving at you. And we know Jonathan Ross was a firearms trainer. So we know that he knew the use of force policies for DHS. And the only conclusion I can come to from the fact that he's already moving to use his weapon before there's any kind of threat, and I would argue from his conduct in this video breakdown, Jonathan Ross deliberately, and you can see him move in this video, killed Renee Good. Deliberately murdered her. While we continue to watch this breakdown, I'll grab that article from like a decade ago about Border Patrol doing exactly what Jonathan Ross did in this video.
For the shooting, footage shows Miss Good and her wife park their maroon SUV in the middle of the street and begin honking and heckling. Administration officials say they were impeding and blocking immigration agents. Footage shows 11 vehicles maneuver around the SUV, including this Chevy Tahoe driven by Agent Ross. When he exits, he's already filming Miss Good's SUV, not with a body camera typical of most law enforcement, but using a cell phone in his hand.
Found it. Here is the article from The Nation from 2014. U.S. border agents intentionally stepped in front of moving vehicles to justify shooting at them. An internal review of the U.S. Border Patrol raises serious questions about the agency's use of force policy. Which is to say, that isn't The Nation saying that. That is the United States government reviewing conduct of its own officers and coming to the conclusion that officers were deliberately setting up circumstances in which they were trying to argue that their murders were totally justified. That's the US government saying that. I'm going to link this in chat so you guys can read it for yourselves. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
It's not clear why. The agent's footage shows his interactions with Miss Good.
Come on. Why are we pausing?
I'm not mad at you.
And her wife.
That's okay, we don't change our plates every morning.
There's verbal jabbing.
It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking driver. You want to come at us?
We see the agent switching the phone from his right hand to his left as he heads toward the front seat of his Tahoe.
I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy.
During this time, on the other side of the SUV, 2 new agents arrive in a pickup. We see Miss Good motions them to go around her.
Okay. Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car.
Over the next 6 seconds, we see one agent reaching into the SUV, Miss Good starting to drive, then Agent Ross firing 3 shots. Now let's go back and analyze some of the key contested moments of the agent's cell phone video, alongside other footage to break down what happens during these critical 6 seconds. Here, the agent's cell phone footage shows he's moving directly in front of the SUV, as it's reversing and rotating towards him, initiating a 3-point turn apparently to leave. Law enforcement officers are trained to avoid doing this because it puts them in danger and often leads to the use of force against drivers. The cell phone is focused squarely on Miss Good. She looks down, shifts into drive, and begins turning to the right, away from the agent. Cut to this high angle and zoom in. We can make out the agent's body and his arm filming.
Now, this is the angle that I had not seen before.
We can also see, at the same time, he's beginning to lift his other arm. On these cameras, we can see what's happening around Agent Ross. The other agent is yelling orders and reaching into Miss Good's SUV. Her front tire spins as she continues turning right. Agent Ross is at least a few feet away from Miss Good's SUV. He does not appear to move out of the way. As the SUV rolls forward, the agent unholsters his firearm. We see in his cell phone video at this moment the camera drifting off to the left. The agent is no longer focused on filming. It's at this point in the cell phone video where it first looks and sounds like the agent's getting knocked violently. On the other camera, we can see what's happening. Here is Agent Ross aiming his gun at Miss Good. And here is his outstretched arm leaning toward her vehicle, which is barely visible behind the Tahoe. His phone, which is gripped in his left hand, flips over when the agent's hand lands on the front of the vehicle. There's an audible thud when it hits. The camera rotates up towards the sky. Again, while it appears the agent's getting knocked over, we can see that's not the case from the other angle, which shows he's standing with his hand near the headlight, his torso and legs away from the vehicle.
Yeah. Like, I gotta really emphasize here, even the argument that he was bruised by this is utter bullshit. Look at him. His torso isn't even touching the car. He's touching the car with his hand.
In the cell phone footage, the agent's face flashes on screen, then it goes black. The other angle shows us why. We can see the agent's foot sliding, his hand bracing against the SUV, and his arm getting pressed into his chest. It is impossible to determine if this is happening because of the SUV's movement or the icy asphalt, or more likely, both. And what's very unclear because of the limited quality.
Yeah, they were claiming internal bleeding, which is, if you were being extraordinarily pedantic, a light bruising, which I'm guessing is exactly what they're being.
And availability of footage is whether the agent's upper body gets swiped by the vehicle as his left foot slides back. This moment is when Agent Ross fires. We see the other agent pull back from the SUV. Both of them stumble, apparently slipping on the ice. This is also the moment many have said looks like Agent Ross getting run over. And it does when watched at full speed. But looking more closely, we can see in multiple angles that there's a visible gap between the vehicle and his legs, indicating his feet are positioned outside the SUV's path.
Yeah, this man did not get fucking run over, and this man didn't even really get hit. He hit the car by throwing his hand out and touching the front of the car.
The agent's left hand is still against the vehicle and gripping his phone. We see as he fires, it's recording the clouds and the trees overhead. It's not because the agent is knocked to the ground. The other angle shows he's still standing, continuing to maintain his grip on his phone and his gun, and we see a clear and growing gap between his body and the SUV as he fires a second shot.
Yeah, like, he then continues to fire after the car is nowhere near hitting him. He fires through the open window.
And a third. None of the bullets have the effect of stopping the SUV. But they kill Renee Good. According to our analysis of audio from Agent Ross's cell phone video, this is his reaction.
Fucking bitch. What the fuck? You just fucking, what the fuck did you do?
According to a White House spokesperson, Agent Ross, quote, suffered internal bleeding after he was struck by the car.
Shame! Shame! Shame!
Later that evening, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said that he had been treated at a local hospital and released.
So I just wanted to go over that because excellent breakdown from the New York Times. There's no question. There is no question that was not justified. He deliberately put himself in that position so that he could have like a reason to say, oh, that's why I shot her. That's it. There was a doctor on the scene afterwards who like wanted to go check. And apparently, according to medical folks, like she was alive at the time. It's just utterly disgusting. So I just wanted to put that to rest before we have any additional conversations about ICE here in Minneapolis. They're fucking murderers. They're fucking disappearing people on the street. And they're all predicating it off of and justifying it. By being like, oh, the protesters are all domestic terrorists. We need to investigate. We need to investigate Renee Good's wife because maybe she's a domestic terrorist too. Like, it is lunacy. And what we need right now is justice for Renee Good, and we need ICE out of Minneapolis and Minnesota, and we need to have accountability for these goddamn murderers. So, that being said, folks, let's get organized, because we need to fight for that accountability. Join your local Dems, join your local DSA, join our Discord if you don't know where to start doing those things, and we have folks here who can help you. And let me know what you think down in the comments. Leave a like and subscribe. Let's keep on going. And folks, I need to return a call real quick, but I will be back. And don't go anywhere. BRB. Also, thank you for becoming a member, Ego Bomb. I'll answer any other donos when I get back.
In a pleasant wooded valley lived a huntsman tall and able. He relied on skill and cunning for the food upon his table. He would walk the forest shadows with his little son in tow. Teaching him the archer's art and all that he should know. Keep your eye clear and keen like a falcon on the wing. Keep your heart strong and steady like your hand upon the string. Never bow to a tyrant while your people are laid low, for the highest head may fall to the man who wields a bow. In the valley there was freedom and a man was left to living, but as year gave way to year the ruling men grew less forgiving. On a day as black as death a governor to rule then came, turning landsmen into slaves, and Gessler was his name. In the center of the village, Gessler set a lofty pillar, and he ordered every subject, be he serf or be he miller, to do homage to the hat that Gessler placed atop the pole, or to forfeit to the crown his life, if not his soul. But the huntsman William Tell came into town the morning after. William heard of Gessler's order and could only roar with laughter. Honest men should hold a rank above a petty autocrat. I would never bow to him, I'll not bow to his hat. Keep your eye clear and keen like a falcon on the wing. Keep your heart strong and steady like
your hand upon the string. Why YouTube, why are you doing this to me? It's you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Here we go. Oof. Oof. All right. Sorry. YouTube is being scuffed today, and I don't know why. Okay, what's this song called? It's called William Tell. It's by Ken Therio, or spelled Ken the Riot, but the Riot is one word, and I think it's French, so Therio. Also, for folks who want the playlist that I grab my songs from, just exclamation point playlist in any of the chats, you get it. There you go. I shift the order of them around sometimes, so there you have it. How we all doing, folks? Yeah, and JFO, the thought had occurred to me that any bruising on Jonathan Ross would be very likely to have been done after the fact, given what I saw in the footage. And if to the degree he has any bruising on his torso at this point, like, there's a decent chance that he just got, like, another ICE agent to just punch him in the gut several times, you know?
Kevin Sorbo is such a shit stain on my hometown, Mount MN.
He is such a shit stain, just on Minnesota in general. It's embarrassing that he's from here. Also, thank you for the $5 super chat, Korik Losek. Or Corey Klosek, as the case might be. How we all doing, folks? Thank you very much for supporting the stream, by the way, folks. And I will also say, hope you're all having a decent time. I know this isn't the most fun topics to talk about, but I've got to wrap up the show pretty soon, so let's get to what we're going to talk about today, huh? All right, let's go. Also, folks, we are at 663. We only need 37 more subs to hit our goal today, and I think we might be able to do it. You guys have been coming through. I think we might be able to do it. So please consider continuing to drop those subs and donos, folks. You guys make it possible for me to do what I do. And with that, one last time before we get started, we've been going for 3 hours. Remember to click the like button, click the subscribe button if you haven't yet, click the follow button, and support the stream. We got a little song that lets you know what to do. Go, go, go. Click the button, click the button, click the button, click the goddamn button, click the button, click the button, click the button, click the goddamn button, click the button, click the button, click the button, click the goddamn button, click the button, click the button, click the button, click the goddamn button, click the button, click the button, click the button, click the goddamn button, click the button, click the button, click the button, click the goddamn button, click the button, click the button, click the button, click the goddamn button, click the button, click the button, click the button, click the goddamn button, click button, click button, click do you mind plugging merch? I do right now. We're on time constraints, and I want to be able to get through this, so I'm going to not do that. Remind me to do it next time. So, folks, let's go. So, folks, let's talk about what's been going down in Minneapolis recently. Just kind of a general overview of how things stand right now, and just want to say, it's not great, not the worst, but not great. I do want to say stuff like this does give me hope. This is outside the Whipple building in Minneapolis here. They're protesters protesting ICE. And I do want to just emphasize here that they're just standing on the other side of the road screaming at ICE officers, as is their goddamn American right. It is your right to be able to scream at whoever you want, as long as you're doing so lawfully. And none of them are breaking the law here. Yep. Greg Bavina just shows up and starts leading these, fascist ghouls to go rough up some protesters. This lady's carrying, the flag of, a fallen American soldier. These people are goddamn patriots. And these, fascist thugs from out of town are pieces of shit that need to get gone. I want you guys to understand that the reason they're doing all of this is specifically so that this man, this fucking psychotic piece of shit, can cosplay and LARP like he's some kind of battle commander for his brown shirt fascist forces. He's just wearing, he's trying to look cool. And he's trying to look cool specifically for the cameras that ICE is carrying with them. This guy isn't showing up anywhere without a camera crew because his entire purpose for being there is to, essentially film B-roll for the fascist leadership. That's it. This short stack piece of shit.
Hey, jump that bottle! Jump that bottle! You're all fucking pretend! Coward chicken shit fucks!
I just want you all to know right now, basically everyone in Minnesota is this guy right now. Anyone in Minneapolis, anyone in the Twin Cities, anyone who has seen ICE actually operating is this guy right now.
Coward chicken shit fucks!
10 out of 10, man. I'm right there with you. These pieces of shit from out of town need to go home. Also, just real quick, CNN, despite the fact that sometimes they are off the ball, is occasionally getting it right when talking with Trump officials now. And I would like to see so much more of this. So much more of this.
Reporters yesterday that ICE may ask people to, quote, validate their identity when asked about Americans carrying proof of citizenship. Can you clarify what exactly that means? Do American citizens, as of now, need to carry their passports or other immigration documents to show that they're citizens?
I am so glad you asked this question because I think that there's a lot of confusion there about this. We have incredibly targeted immigration enforcement operations. So what's
No, they don't.
happening there is reasonable suspicion.
I cannot emphasize enough, they are going door to door in some neighborhoods in Minneapolis and in the Twin Cities area, asking if anyone knows where the Asian people live on their block. This is not targeted.
If somebody is in the vicinity of this operation, of this target,
Come on.
then they could be asked for their identification. We've been vindicated by the.
This is Trisha McLaughlin. She's essentially one of those people they tried to appoint as a lawyer and then got disqualified. It's nuts. It's psychotic shit. But she's essentially, media ready in Trump world, so they're sending her out to basically try and defend this heinous bullshit.
Supreme Court, September of 2025. You all saw a case out of Los Angeles where they said we can use a reasonable suspicion. I think I've seen a lot on this network and other places where they're talking about this is racially based. Absolutely not. Racial animus is no place in DHS and is, of course, not used. We're using what is protected under the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution.
All right, let's dive a little bit deeper into that.
Absolutely.
I want to play this video of a recent incident in Minnesota that has received attention.
Do you have an ID on you, ma'am?
I don't need an ID to walk around in my city. This is my
Okay,
city.
do you have
This is
some
my
ID
home.
then, please?
I don't need an
If
ID.
not, we're going to put you in the vehicle and we're going to ID you. Please.
I am U.S. citizen. I don't need to carry around an ID in my home.
Well,
This is
where
my
were you,
home.
Where were you born?
This is my home.
Where were you born?
Minneapolis is my home.
So that video was filmed by a woman who, as you heard, said she is a U.S. citizen. Why exactly was she stopped? Was there reasonable suspicion, which is a legal bar, as you noted, that a crime was committed in that situation? And why was he asking her, where are you born? Like, what was he basing that on?
Sure. So either this is, and I haven't seen this video before, so there could be two circumstances here. Either this is a targeted operation and she's around the vicinity of it, around the target.
Yeah, as we all know, a highly targeted operation just has, splash damage. When you do a highly targeted strike, you also hit additional people in the area. Almost sounds like you're describing something that is not highly targeted, huh?
There's reasonable suspicion because there might be a descriptor, or she could be 5'6" and they're looking for somebody who's 5'6". That could be part of it. They're looking for somebody. That could be part of it. The other piece of it is it could.
Yeah, she could just be like the same height. Yeah, totally. Nah, these fucking Kavanaugh stops are happening all over the Twin Cities area, where they just see someone non-white and stop them and are like, yeah, no, you're totally someone we're kind of looking for. Time to take you into custody.
I don't know if she was obstructing law enforcement, if she was assaulting law enforcement prior to this, but.
Yeah, that classic move when someone assaults law enforcement and then just says, their response to that is to calmly ask, where were you born? You all know how cops react to being assaulted. That very common reaction where you assault an officer and then they ask you where you were born calmly without, assaulting you back. Every fucking word out of this administration is just lies. Yeah, it could be some kind of descriptor, like, say, race. But let's keep going, because there's a whole lot to cover here. Because the situation here in Minnesota is really difficult to put into words, but I wanted to share this 47-second long video that the city of Minneapolis put out. And I want you to understand, this is insane. I remember being a kid and living through 9/11 and, the messaging after that. And I want you all to keep in your head that context when watching this video. This is from the city of Minneapolis.
We know there's a lot going on in Minneapolis right now. There's understandable fear, uncertainty, and the ringing of rallying voices. But know this, the city is still in business. We are a dynamic city full of energy and love for each other and for anyone who visits. All of us are making our own decisions about when and where we go, as federal officers are in the Twin Cities and beyond. We also want to support our restaurants, our dry cleaners, pharmacies, and all the businesses that keep our city moving. If we stop living our lives, stop supporting what makes our city so great, then ICE wins. Let's show them who Minneapolis is. We are a loving, welcoming city.
So, this is from, the director of, economic planning for the city or whatever. And essentially it is, a plea to, hey, support local businesses, especially, our minority-run businesses. Which isn't, a terrible message to put out, but I want you to focus in on one of the things he said there. If we stop shopping, then ICE wins. Which is almost exactly the same messaging that George W. Bush had after 9/11 happened, where he was like, if we stop shopping, the terrorists win. And I just want to really let you know here that what is being said here is essentially the same thing, but ICE are the terrorists. Like, this is essentially like the like the war on terror messaging, but the terrorists in this circumstance are ICE. Like, I understand, like, a lot of people are focusing on, like, the capital element of this, and, like, yeah, obviously, like, rah-rah capitalism, whatever. But the underlying rhetoric of this video is comparing ICE implicitly to the Taliban. That's where Minneapolis is right now, because that's the level of fear that ICE has instilled into this community. And it's not just like Minneapolis, it's the entire state. According to the Minneapolis St. Paul Business Journal, ICE agents have started checking documents at the airport and have basically set up different checkpoints within the airport. So I want you to understand that in addition to having to go through TSA and through, like, you know, the additional rigmarole of all of that, you're now expected to go through random checkpoints set up by the secret police in the Minneapolis airport to fly domestically. And, like, I know that this isn't being widely reported, but that's, like, there's a special level of fucked up about that. Where anyone who is, like, flying now is expected to produce their documentation to prove that they are a citizen. Or else they run the risk of being, detained by ICE. They're supposed to be at Minneapolis Airport at least through March 1st. It's genuinely super disturbing. It is deeply authoritarian and fascist, and no one here likes it, and we are fucking furious about it. Okay? I also just wanted to throw out there here that the level of terror that ICE is inflicting upon our community is so severe that they are canceling, like, recreational activities for children. The Minneapolis Parks and Rec Board put this out the other day. This is a communication from Minneapolis Parks and Recreation Board. MPRB youth athletics families, considering the alarming federal immigration enforcement activities currently taking place in and around Minneapolis, and after hearing from families and teams, a decision has been made to cancel all MPRB youth athletic games and practices scheduled for Friday, January 16th through Sunday, January 18th. All canceled games will be rescheduled for a later date. Like, they're canceling sports games for children because ICE is targeting those sports games. ICE is targeting schools. ICE is targeting where people put their kids. They are going after anyone that they consider remotely vulnerable. And it is leading to just absolute fury. Absolute fury. And I wanted to share a couple of these things right now, because I think it's important. Here is Status Quo interviewing someone who is peacefully protesting and talking about what ICE did to him.
So what happened?
I was in a signal group to observe ICE, and we were called in because one of our observers was being pepper sprayed, and they had just arrived watching ICE. ICE was door knocking in the neighborhood, and I pulled up. I started honking my horn. I got out with my whistle, and I was holding my hand up to show that my hand had nothing in it, and I was blowing with my whistle in my other hand. and the officer charged me with pepper spray, sprayed himself in the face first, unfortunately for him. Then he charged me again with more pepper spray and then just clocked me in the eye, knocked off my glasses. I didn't do anything aggressive towards him at all. I was 20 or 30 feet away from him, and then he clocked me again with more pepper spray and punching me, and then they arrested me. And he said that I assaulted him. I had done nothing. I had just been using my whistle and showing my open palm to the officer.
The judge's order just came down, and there was a federal injunction saying that they cannot do specifically what you just said they did.
They did exactly all that, and we have observers that I hope recorded it all.
Yeah. They say that they can no longer use pepper spray on people who are just following or participating in protests like this.
Yeah, that's not what happened this morning. And I was in the jail detention center with 5 people, and all of us had similar stories where we were pepper sprayed or assaulted for no particular reason other than expressing our right. And that's just the theme of what's been going on today.
So they arrested you too?
Well, I don't know if they arrested me. They questioned me. They read me my rights. They detained me since 11 this morning. I was arrested and put into a vehicle at 10 in the morning.
Were you issued citations or anything? Or
no, I don't know. They didn't tell me anything other than they took my statement, and then they released this, took my fingerprints and my DNA.
Are you? We can see the injuries, but are you okay? Like, are you?
Okay, I'm okay. My face hurts a little bit, but I'm okay. Other things hurt worse, and I felt bad for the other people that I had to see in there, the immigrants who were in there, who looked devastated, horrified, and that was the most heartbreaking thing for me today. And listening to a woman scream and wail as they're trying to process her. Those were the devastating things for me today.
So what happened?
And he doesn't even know if he's getting arrested. I don't think it's legal to take DNA. It's not legal to do any of the shit that they're doing. Like, it's not legal for them to do what they were doing. Last night, a federal judge, Catherine Menendez, handed down a injunction, essentially saying ICE is forbidden from doing the following in the Twin Cities area. And that included here: covered federal agents are hereby enjoined from retaliating against persons who are engaging in peaceful and unobstructive protest activity, including observing the activities of Operation Metro Surge, arresting or detaining persons who are engaging in peaceful and unobstructive protest activity, including observing the activities of Operation Metro Surge in retaliation for their protected conduct, and absent a showing of probable cause or reasonable suspicion that the person has committed a crime or is obstructing or interfering with the activities of covered federal officers. C. Using pepper spray or similar non-lethal munitions and crowd dispersal tools against persons who are engaging in peaceful and unobstructive protest activity, including observing the activities of Operation Metro Surge in retaliation for their protected conduct. And D. Stopping or detaining drivers and passengers in vehicles where there is no reasonable articulable suspicion that they are forcibly obstructing or interfering with covered federal agents or otherwise violating 18 U.S.C. subsection 111. The act of safely following covered federal agents at an appropriate distance does not by itself create reasonable suspicion to justify a vehicle stop. And this was an incredibly good ruling from the judge. This was great. However, it begs the question, who is going to enforce this? Because almost seemingly deliberately after this ruling got handed down today, a lot of brutality was visited against protesters. And I think that was largely an effort to kind of test the limits, to kind of tell the judge to go fuck herself. And we'll see kind of what comes of this. But regardless of whether or not ICE follows these rules from the judge, this law, this lays the groundwork for future prosecutions for ICE. Between the evidence that people are constantly collecting by observing and like the laws passed down and rulings passed down by these judges, it lays the groundwork for holding these people to account. And that I think that matters. I want them to be afraid that their actions at some point, even if it is not imminent, I want them to be afraid that at some point their actions that they commit on camera are going to be connected to them, and then they are going to be held accountable for it. And even if they're trying to come up with ways to like make it seem like they're not violating people's rights, make it seem like they're following along with this order, they're not going to be able to do it because they're foul pieces of shit. So, continue gathering evidence, continue observing, continue to exercise your legal rights, and continue to message about that these are your legal rights. And that ICE is a group of lawless, law-breaking, just vile individuals who will be held to account. We will build a movement that will keep them accountable. And I do want to emphasize here, this is the kind of group outside of the Whipple building at night here. People in Minnesota have been keeping things very peaceful. I just want to emphasize, like, we got people in inflatable costumes in sub-zero temperatures, okay? Like, they aren't, like, fighting cops. The cops want to fight them. Okay? And, I want to emphasize here that even local politicians are starting to come around. Not nearly enough of them, mind you, but local politicians are starting to come around. Here is, there, Councilwoman Aurin Chowdhury for Ward 12.
Do you believe there is a legitimate role in any time in the city of Minneapolis for ICE enforcement actions?
I think the way that ICE has behaved and the recklessness in which they treat our immigrant neighbors, our community members, citizens, they have completely eroded their legitimacy. I think ICE is being used by this administration to create mass harm and fear, violation of people's constitutional rights, and I find it illegitimate. And it is absolutely shameful. It's a shameful period in our country. And Minneapolis, we are really struggling, but all of our neighbors are coming together and we're holding tight to each other and we're standing up for our immigrant neighbors. It is our duty as Americans to use our First Amendment rights to stand up to injustice and to hold our government accountable.
Councilmember Chowdhury, federal immigration officials say they are being threatened, impeded, and disrupted in their pursuit of carrying out federal immigration law. How do you respond to that?
How I respond to that is we have 3,000 ICE agents in our city streets indiscriminately stopping people for the color of their skin. I'm a daughter of immigrants. I'm a United States citizen. And yet today, as a sitting councilwoman, I have a whistle around my neck and a passport in my coat pocket to prove that I am a citizen, to prove that I should not be arrested. And for people without status, they are being targeted and taken without any due process. Their homes are being broken into and families are being torn apart. ICE agents and the federal government are the ones that are being reckless. This is not who our nation should be. This is not what Minneapolis is. And we were peaceful. We were taking care of each other. Crime was down in our city before they came in. And now, at the top of the year, we have had 4 shootings, and 2 of them have been because of ICE. And so any allusion to...
Yeah, I mean, half the shootings in Minneapolis are because ICE keeps shooting people.
Any allusion that ICE is saying that our community is causing mass disruption and that they're the root of violence is absolute propaganda.
I want to emphasize here that this woman who was on her way to a traumatic brain injury clinic and was detained by ICE for no reason, later passed out in ICE custody because she needed to get to her appointment at that clinic. And also, her image right now is plastered on the front of newspapers around the world because every country in the world is reporting on what is happening here in Minneapolis. They are reporting about how the US government is pulling disabled people out of cars and detaining them based on the color of their skin. That is how the world knows us. That was her. That was her.
The root of violence is ICE, as evidenced by the murder of Renee Good, as evidenced by pregnant women being dragged out of their car, as evidenced by United States citizens being detained and then mocked by ICE agents and saying slurs about Renee Good and saying you should have learned from that lesson.
Do you believe there is a legitimate...
No, there's no legitimate place for ICE anywhere in any kind of civilized society. And I do want to say she went back on Blue Sky to say specifically ICE should be abolished and they are a rogue and reckless agency. And, I should be following her. But like, that's where people are right now, folks. That's where like people are when it comes to what is happening here. It's the amount of insane bullshit we are dealing with in Minneapolis and Minnesota broadly on a day-to-day basis is really hard to condense because it's just so overwhelming. I do want to say that we've talked about this a few times here, but there is an organizing effort right now in the Twin Cities to have a one-day work stoppage. So no one goes to work, no one goes to school, no one buys shit on January 23rd, okay? And this was initially organized by a handful of unions, like the Amalgamated Transit Union for trains, one of the local AT&T communications unions, one of the St. Paul Teachers Federation was another big one, hospitality workers and service workers in the area, two other big ones. Those five have worked together with other labor organizers in the area and gotten the entire Minneapolis, Twin Cities area on board with that work stoppage. So this has now gotten more legs than just a handful of unions. It is every local union. So this was put out yesterday. Minneapolis Labor Union delegation and local regional labor bodies endorsed January 23rd, Day of Truth and Freedom, no work, school, or shopping. The Minneapolis Regional Labor Federation, AFL-CIO, along with regional bodies throughout the state, including the St. Paul Regional Labor Federation, the West Area Labor Council, the Northeast Area Labor Council, and the East Central Labor Council, have joined in solidarity to endorse a powerful, unified statewide action on January 23rd, Day of Truth and Freedom. The Minnesota labor movement is united against the violent ICE occupation of our beloved cities that has directly impacted union members, our workplaces, and our families. Workers are essential for our communities to function. Since the ICE campaign of terror began, both immigrant and non-immigrant workers have feared for their safety when going to work, being at work, and coming home from work. Union members and our families are being illegally detained at alarming rates, with workplaces and schools facing increased challenges. Like it's wonderful what they're doing here. Okay. From Chelsea Glaubitz Gabu, president of the Minneapolis Regional Labor Federation, AFL-CIO. Working people, our schools, and our communities are under attack. Union members are being detained, commuting to and from work, tearing apart families. Parents are being forced to stay home. Students held out of school, fearing for their lives, all while the employer class remains silent. Our labor federations are encouraging everyone to participate on January 23rd. It's time for every single Minnesotan who loves this state and the notion of truth and freedom to raise their voices and deepen their solidarity for our neighbors and coworkers living under this federal occupation. Unions joined the demands for that day that call for ICE to leave Minnesota now. The agent who killed Renee Good to be held legally accountable, no additional federal funding for ICE in the upcoming congressional budget, and ICE must be investigated for human and constitutional violations of Americans and our neighbors, Minnesotan and national companies to become Fourth Amendment businesses, cease economic relations with ICE, and refuse ICE entry or using their property for staging grounds. And like, this is top tier. And I want you all to understand it is not just a one-day situation, because a one-day work stoppage, a one-day act of solidarity, that is a shot across the bow. It is a warning that, hey, we are organized, we are united, and if you do not recognize our demands, we are capable of doing more. We are capable of shutting all of this down even more. And we will do that if that is what it takes to get ICE out of our cities. Okay? So this is actually an incredibly important and incredibly huge catalyst for union solidarity. This grouping of organizations, it represents over 175 unions, over 80,000 workers in the state, and it's a pretty significant action. And I think as more people become aware of it, especially come January 23rd, the option for it to expand becomes more and more real. So, yeah, if you're in other states and you want to join in solidarity, start working with your local unions, local groups as well. If you are outside of Minnesota and you want to join with us in solidarity, you are more than welcome, folks. Because it's getting really nasty here for basically everyone. I mean, like, parent arrested by ICE agents while waiting for school bus with child, principal says. School officials say students on the bus and at the stop might have seen the encounter. A parent was arrested by ICE agents while waiting at a school bus stop with their child in Crystal, Minnesota, which is a suburb, school officials say. Northport Elementary School principal Bridget Dooley sent a letter to parents Wednesday about the arrest, saying that other students at the bus stop and students on the bus might have seen the encounter, which is probably the case. Additionally, business owners in the area are starting to get real fucking angry.
I am a U.S. veteran. I'm a citizen. For once in my life, I'm thinking I'm back in Afghanistan. So really think about that implication. It's not a combat zone. This is America.
What happened?
It's just like we hear, they were running around and they came to our facility. Luckily, we saw them across the street walking over here. Because of the state of the world right now, we have contingency plans on how to protect our people. Thankfully, we were able to lock our doors and deny them entrance.
They didn't have warrants then?
No warrants. They're
coming here on the off chance?
Yeah, indiscriminately, just your skin tone, your...
I want to emphasize here, a few days ago, I played a video of an ICE agent trying to get into Rectangle Pizza, which has been a target of ICE largely due to the fact that it has been donating pizzas to folks who are too scared to leave their homes and donating pizzas to places that are organizing legal observer protest. Legal observing trainings. And they're doing really good work here. But the video I played, I did not notice that when the ICE agents they stopped in the intersection, they ran up to one of Rectangle Pizza's entrances, an entrance that's boarded up and doesn't normally open. And luckily that day, Rectangle Pizza was just closed down because they had made so many pizzas to donate to the local community that they had ran out of pizza making ingredients. So the store was just closed that day. But what I didn't see was that the ICE agent and I saw this in a different angle, from someone who is on the sidewalk next to the ICE officers. They were running up to Rectangle Pizza with a gas grenade. They were going to try and rip open the door and throw in a gas grenade. There was no warrant. They weren't trying to deliver a warrant. No one, they don't have any warrants in the vast majority of these cases. But as political retaliation for what Rectangle Pizza was doing for the community, they were trying to run up and throw a gas grenade inside. They were unaware that, like, it was closed that day. And if they had gone to the right entrance on a day when they were open, they could have just thrown in a gas grenade to a crowded restaurant. Wouldn't that be trespassing and destruction of property? Yes. But that's kind of the point, right? Like, these ICE agents are lawless pieces of shit. They are a stain on our country and likely a stain on their trousers as well. But they are also just disgustingly evil pieces of shit. I know I keep saying pieces of shit, and I know I've been swearing a lot in a lot of this local coverage, but I need you all to know I'm trying to add more emphasis because this is my neighborhood. This is where I live. These are places I know. These are people that I love, and they are deliberately going out of their way to hurt as many people as possible. And I hate them actively, and I want them gone. But just so you know, like, I 100% back up everything this guy is saying, because ICE is just running around and in the 99% of the time has no legal warrant.
Type of job and everything, that's what they're targeting.
They took one of your employees?
Yes. So unfortunately, we don't know what's going to happen to him. You know, it's he pop up and disappear. So we have to let his family know and wish them the best and try to support them as much as possible. Mm-hmm. We are a family here. That's what we try to really push in the sense of this business. We're a family-owned business. We're local. Everybody here is family. So seeing this happen is very detrimental. I mean, my staff is emotionally wrecked. It's not something you're used to. It's not the America I fought for.
When you say it feels like
It's not the America I fought for. Damn.
Afghanistan, the threat level, the trauma, is that what you're talking about?
Well, let's put it this way. When you're driving around looking over your shoulder constantly for threats, when you're constantly looking at the person, whether they're going to be a threat to you, your life, your state of being, yeah, absolutely. That's what we were trained to do. Are they going to hurt me, cause me harm? Yes, no, and you move on. I'm not saying that's what we should be thinking or doing. Absolutely not. But my own traumas take me that way. And there's a lot more veterans out there, brothers and sisters, who think and feel the same way. It's not a combat zone. This is America. We have the police here. We have laws. None of them are being followed. None of them are being implemented. It's honestly a disgrace to our country. This is not what I fought for. I don't stand for this.
I really want to emphasize this, that, like, guys like this getting triggered by the Trump administration, like, that is what, like, lays kind of the groundwork for, like, a violent resistance. Like, when Donald Trump has his goons not following the law, like, guys, the law is how folks like that's how we adjudicate differences without, like, resulting to whoever has the biggest rock, you know? And if the law isn't being followed, and if it is being subverted time and time again, like, that is what leads to the breakdown of public order. And that is what leads to people being like, oh, it doesn't exist anymore. We don't have to operate on their rules. And, like, ICE is coming in and eroding that trust in law and the idea of law. And with ICE violating the law to directly harm folks, that needs to stop. Otherwise, this is going to escalate, because there is only you can't just keep kicking a dog and expect it never to, like, you know, like, to just take that always with whimpers. Eventually it trains the dog, and not in the way someone might like. And so the issue that we're looking at here is that Donald Trump and ICE are destroying the idea of law. And that is going to have some devastating consequences going forward. And yeah, it's gonna be bad. But folks in Minnesota are increasingly getting to the point where like they're running out of patience. So something's got to give soon. Something's got to give. Like, you can only patiently allow yourself to get beaten so many times. And like, I don't know what to say about this administration and ICE anymore. Like, they're going after goddamn toy stores in the area. Mischief Toy Store over here. DHS employees entered our store this afternoon and served us a notice of inspection, demanding copies of I-9 forms for each employee. In 27 years as shopkeepers, we have never been subjected to this type of investigation. Given the timing, we consider this to be targeted harassment as punishment for exercising our First Amendment rights. We're still handing out free whistles, and we got in hundreds of new yard signs. Keep resisting, Minnesota. We love you. Like, ICE is just seeing anyone who they, like, describe as, like, their political enemies, and they're trying to do their best to shut down those businesses, harass them, etc. It is sickening. And the courage of people in my community puts to shame, like the combined courage of every ICE officer couldn't fit into a goddamn thimble. I would take one average Minnesotan any day over the entirety of ICE. These people need to fucking go home. Because most of them, they're from fucking Ohio. They're from fucking Utah. They're from fucking Texas. Get the fuck out of here. Go back to your, like, local cross burnings. Go, like, better yet, get the fuck out of the country. Like, go to, like, the South Pacific garbage patch in the middle of the ocean and set up your own little floating commune. Like, we don't want racists here. We don't want bigots here. And we certainly don't want them here more when they are given guns and the ability, seemingly, to just violate any law they want. Like, it is infuriating, guys. But in all of that, I find a lot of hope. There's a lot of hope here in Minneapolis. Because I want to talk a little bit about the fact that far-right agitators tried to hold a racist white nationalist rally here in Minneapolis today. And the reason they picked Minnesota and the reason they picked Minneapolis is because they wanted to start some shit. They wanted to create a spark for some kind of national attention on Minneapolis, for, you know, the Republicans to say, look, they're rioting. It's time to do the Insurrection Act. Their entire plan was to try and provoke Donald Trump into using the Insurrection Act. That was their goal here in Minnesota, right? Like, this was put together by Jack Lang, who was imprisoned after January 6th because he was one of the people who broke into the Capitol building. Here he is. I played this footage the other day, but I'll play it again.
Door to door. Don't stop. Every Walmart parking lot. Every Home Depot where the illegals congregate. Send them all back. We want our country back. We want our country back. We want our country back. Baby, our country will not fall to you violent migrants. Our country is going to stand for another 250 years of beautiful freedom. Door to
This guy, I want to really be clear, is a white supremacist. He is a neo-Nazi. It's like, I cannot describe enough that he is just one of the lowest of the low. Like, he's a goose-stepping white supremacist fucking neo-Nazi. Okay? And they organized a rally here, Cedar Riverside, to try and provoke folks. And I just want to say, hats off to folks who showed up, because guess what? A bunch of counter-protesters showed up, prepared to protest, and as you can see, maybe you can't because It's fucking...
Lawful order on the roadway.
As you can see, the counter-protesters easily outnumbered any of the protesters by a mile. Like, there were maybe like 10 of them that had the balls to show up. Like, just... The media outnumbered, like, the number of people who showed up. Like, basically just people mercilessly mocking this white supremacist piece of shit who showed up. And it's really glorious. It's really, really glorious to see. And I do want to say the reporting on this is basically that a bunch of counter-protesters showed up with water balloons and just started pelting the handful of white nationalists who showed up with water balloons. It's very cold outside. They decided to skedaddle in short order as that happened. So, you know, I'm proud of my city. I'm proud of the innovative tactics of anti-fascism and anti-racism. You know, it's nice to see ICE used for good for a change. And with that being said, let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah. So, comments longer than 8 words. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Things might be grim here in Minnesota, but we are going to continue to innovate. We are going to continue to fight back. We are going to continue to organize. And folks, like, comment, subscribe, do the things, and check out ImogeneOlivia.com. Gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes, tested on cis men, cis women, non-binary folks, non-tucking lingerie. Check it out. Make a fascist mad today. And all that being said, let's keep on going. And with that, I am going to be done. Love you all. And I will see you all on a new time. Maybe later tonight? I don't know. We'll see how easily I'm able to sleep. Check them. Goodbye, everyone. I'm gonna go cuddle my beautiful and lovely and wonderful partner. Also, drop those subs and donos. Okay, bye!
What we need in the United States is not division. What we need in the United States is not hatred. What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but is love and wisdom and compassion toward one another.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. We'll walk hand in hand.
sorry.